what anybody wants to discuss today. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be discussing. I actually have one of my older students who has come back. You know, I always say that sometimes people leave for whatever reason, but they keep their PBS and they come back when they get a chance or opportunity or whatever drew them away is handled. And so she's given me permission to use her website for training, since it's basically an older website that we're going to be upgrading and modifying. The good thing is she does have her links in there, so her links are still active. And so we will be just modifying some of the content in there and showing you how to convert some stuff. We're going to be modifying her pages. If we come across anything that has an HTML code, I'll show you how to convert that. We'll also be going in and doing some keyword searches for her new content because she hasn't advertised, so it's okay for us to use change her keywords a little bit. We're going to be going over classic versus block. You'll see me use both of those in the modifying of her pages. Also, we'll be transferring some pictures over, see what she has in her media library. If she doesn't have a lot of stuff, then I can import them from my media and put that in there. And then the last thing that I have on the list for me to go over today is creating a template for her advertising and actually advertising her page that we're going to be modifying. She's probably not going to be on. She's going to try to. And the reason I say she's probably not going to be on is she is my Hawaiian student. So she's 6 hours different from me.
Oh, wow.
And I told her it's totally okay if she doesn't get on because it's, 1 o'clock my time. So it's about 7:30-ish at her time, and then maybe 8.
AM or PM?
AM. Yeah, AM. So, yeah, so she's early morning, and I can't wait to go visit her. I told my husband that's going to be on my bucket list to go to Hawaii. My daughter's already been twice. I have yet to go there. And she's a licensed massage therapist. So
oh, wow.
She's already told me she's going to take care of the kinks in my neck.
Oh, yeah.
So for those that were not on when we first got started, please go into the chat and put your name, your full name, so that I can make sure that we get our attendance recorded. And I can update your Trello cards for your instructor and let them know who all attended and make sure that you are here.
Okay, so I got something that I need help on.
Okay.
When you get into a page, and how do you get it set so that you can put a link in it? You got a page that's got no links in it. I can't get that tab up there that allows me to pick something and put a link to it.
Okay. I'll show you that, and it could be the different mode that you're in.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go over putting links in. Okay, any other questions? So this is our question time, what you want to go over that you need help with. I know some of you are very leery about asking questions in an open forum, but please do. If you don't want to ask it, put it in the chat. I'll look in the chat and answer questions through there. But please, I can't help you if I don't know what you need. So please, if I don't go over it in the initial training at the end of what I'm going to go over, and any concerns that are voiced right now, let me know at the end of the class what you need that we didn't cover, or if you're still a little fuzzy on some things, and we will go over that. Yes.
Sheila, I have a question in regards to putting blocks into my home page.
Okay.
I have one big large box and everything goes into that box, but how do I separate put boxes inside that?
Okay, so you want to break up the block. So basically it's in a classic or block mode. So we'll go over that, how to put different tabs basically inside. And you said it was on your home page, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go over that. Okay, anybody else? Let's see what we have in chat.
I started laughing at Bruce Williams.
He's a myth.
Bless your heart.
I know. All right, so everybody's here. Okay, gotcha. Yes, we need to get advertising. I know if anybody was on the call Tuesday or even Wednesday call, we are entering the biggest shopping season of the year. We're also entering the biggest weight loss jump of the year. Everybody wants to start losing weight now for the holidays. And then come January 1, they got all the New Year's resolutions about getting healthy, getting fit, losing weight. So between now and I say probably the 1st of April is when you need to really be hitting the ads, free ad sites, social medias, platforms with your weight loss and your wine. And the reason I say wine is because of the parties that associate with the holidays. Also with wine, you want people to, you want them to associate your name with wine, because after April, then you start having graduations from college, from high school. You start going into the wedding season. You start going into the backyard barbecues. Summer starts again. Pool parties, you know, just outdoor barbecues. You have block parties. And then it starts the cycle all over again. So you want to start advertising your wines, you know, for the holiday season, but also to let people know once they start the summer, spring, summer season that, oh, I remember that website that I saw at Christmas time. So let me find where that is. You know, I bookmarked it. So you want to get those free ads out there so that you can get your pages starting to index. So if y'all hear me pause every once in a while so I don't lose my voice, I got like 3 different types of beverages here to keep my throat. They're all laced with some type of medicine. Right. So to keep my throat from squeaking too much.
I think orange juice would be a key one.
Oh, I can't drink orange juice. There's something in it that doesn't agree with me. I love it though, but I just can't handle it. My stomach doesn't like it at all.
What about lemonade?
Any kind of citrusy, if it's has a lot of citrus in it, it just doesn't work well with me. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And like I said, this is one of my older students. Her page, I actually updated because it was in classic mode. I probably should have done that until after we got on here. But but I just transferred and updated all her updates. So now she is actually in classic. Not classic, Sheila. She's in block. Yes.
How do you know it was in the older version?
Because when it pulled up, it was in classic. The whole page was in classic, and I could look at it and tell it had no blocks. The whole format was different.
Because I originally started in January of 2018, and then I stopped and got back in July 2019.
Okay, then so if you haven't done any of your updates, then yeah. So
I've done
you've done your updates.
I did the leaks.
Okay. All right. So what you're going to end up doing, I'm going to show you how her pages look. And this is probably how your pages look. You can see that she still has a lot of the advertisers in there that we don't have anymore. So I'm just going to pull up one that I know I haven't done anything with. So we're going to pull up this one. And even though her website now is in block format, you can see right here, her page is still in classic, and it pulls up in classic.
Sheila, I'm missing your audio.
You can't hear me?
You're back on again. I lost you for about 1.5 minutes.
Okay. Can everybody hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. I got an alarm going off, and I didn't want it blurring out. So
okay. Yeah. So if that's the other thing, if y'all have any background noise, you know, barking, animals, water running, TV on, anything that can be distracting or that will show up on the video, please just mute yourself. And if you have a question, you know, just chime in. But if you know you have background noise that could be distracting or that will come through or bleed through on the video, later, just mute yourself, and I would
Sheila,
really appreciate it. Yes.
even sneezing.
Yes, sneezing, coughing. If you get a coughing fit, you know, I'm going to try to mute myself when I have to cough, because I know I will, or if I have to slurp down some drink. But yes, blowing your nose, belching. We had that.
Any bodily function.
Yes, please do. You know, just we want to try to keep it as professional as we can. So, because you know, I do have this on my YouTube, and it is open to the public, so anybody can search it. So we want to make sure that we are representing not only our website but our company as Triple R Training, Triple R 247 associations with that. Keep it as professional as possible. So even though her website is updated to block, as you can see here, block, her pages are still in Classic.
Are they supposed to be in Classic?
No. And that's because she had never updated. She had never done the updates to the new block version. So I did that this morning when I went through and looked, because I knew if some of you had never seen a Classic version, it would have been a bit confusing. So I just went ahead and converted her whole site, did all her updates. So her site is in block format now, but her pages are still in Classic.
My pages are in mine are in Classic.
Yeah. So what you're going to have to do, and that's probably why you have the different blocks. On your home page, and you're going to be doing that the same way that we're going to be doing this, is you're going to create another block, and you're going to do either paragraph, image block. We're going to start this one with the paragraph block, and I'm just going to copy exactly what is here into that block. And then I'm going to remove this right here. Yes.
Why wouldn't you just convert it to blocks?
Because when you convert to block, if it's in Classic and you convert to block, then your images will be distorted. And then if you have anything that's in code and you convert to block, then it will convert to code. And then you have to convert the code back to block and then copy it again. So if it's already in Classic, it's better to go ahead and copy the information there into a new block, instead of converting your whole page into a block, and then you run into HTML code and you're going, oh, what is that? And then you have to convert the HTML code into preview and then copy it again and then put it in a block so that you can actually see the verbiage instead of the code.
Understand.
Yep. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. So once your page is in block, and the way you can tell that is when you go to click on anywhere inside your page or your actual information here, you will see that it says document in block. If this was not converted, you wouldn't see any of this. It would be totally different. It wouldn't even have the word block anywhere on it if your website has not been updated.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Yeah.
None of my pages. No wonder I have trouble with the, because I'm like looking at my page and I say, I don't see those little crosses, those X's, and the editing stuff.
Yep.
And I have to keep scrolling all the way up to the top to get to it.
Yep. So that means what you need to do is come over here to your dashboard and look at your updates, and then make sure that your website is updated. If there's anything in here that says updates, you want to do your plugins first, do your theme second, and then do your updates to your whole website. A lot of people go in and do their update to their whole website first without updating their themes and their plugins, and then sometimes they don't work because you've updated the whole format without updating the themes first. So do your themes and your plugins first, and then update your whole website last. That way everything gets updated in sync.
Right,
I don't think that, though. Okay.
Yeah, when you go to do your updates, if you have anything in here, yes, I'm gonna leave. we'll come back to it later. So when you go to do your updates, you see it will have plugins and themes if there's anything that needs to be updated. And I know people says, well, we're not supposed to use plugins. You all have plugins that come with your system that is required to operate your system.
Yep.
The plugins that we don't allow is when other companies say, hey, add this plugin to your website so that I can verify, or they can verify that this is your website. That's a plugin for them to come in and actually be able to manipulate your website. We don't do this. The plugins that we have are for security.
Okay, mine are all up to date. So
okay, and then do your themes. And then if you have not had the current WordPress, it will tell you right here to install the current WordPress, and then you would just install it. You should have your version 5.2.3.
yes, that's what I have.
Okay, so then you're updated. So only thing that is going on with yours is that your website, your pages are all in Classic. So, and that's easy to fix. Just when you come to a page, you can do one or two options. Like we just did, I'm going to come here to the Australian wine. That's where we were at. Because I didn't save it, it's going to revert back to what it was. Everything will go back that like it was.
You're doing this page, Sheila, because this is the one I was like, okay, what do I do for step one? What do I do for step two?
Yeah.
Thought I had to have a link there.
So, so you will see here, if you've updated, no, I don't want to do the recent ones. You will see this right here where it says Classic, and you should see block and document. Do you see that there in your site?
No, mine don't have that.
What does yours have?
Do I click on edit first?
Yes, always in edit. You will only see this when you're in edit.
Okay, no, it doesn't have it there.
Where is it at? Do you have
okay, should I, let me go to my Australia like you have and see what's on there.
I was going to ask you, Sheila, should we have our website up next to yours so that we can jump over and do things on our website while you're doing yours?
If you want to, if you haven't done anything to this page and you want to follow along, that's perfect. Perfectly fine. Yeah. Okay, that way, if you run across something that I'm doing and yours doesn't work, then we can address that while we're on here.
That's the other side of it. Going, yeah, well, nah.
Yep. So, the other thing is you want to make sure that you have your settings to where you can actually see this visibly. A lot of people will see this and they don't have anything unless they go down here and find it. So you want to make sure. Yep. So you want to click on your settings and make sure that the block shows up so that you can see your work in progress as you go.
Okay, I see it now.
There you go. Perfect. So, so what we're going to do is, number one, we have this page and it's in edit. We got it in edit mode. You always want to be working in edit. And we're going to start with the new paragraph. And I'm just going to put this in block. And we're going to just start. And I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm not going to do the whole page, but she does know that I'm going to come in here and play with it a little bit. And I already see something right now that's going to cause a Yoast issue. And that's going to be that I have not used my keyword in the first sentence. So let's go down here and see what the keyword is. And the keyword is Australia wine. Okay. And since we want to get a better word, we're going to come here and see what we can find.
Is that the site that you recommend is Jaxie?
Yeah, it's really good. So I'm gonna come here and see what we got for Australia Wine Club. And this is not a free site, so I'm just letting you know it's not a free site.
Oops.
Yeah, it's a paid site. So let's see. I want to get one that is pretty good. And when you come to this site, you actually get 30 free searches. If you go and do the trial version, you get 30 free searches. So you want to make sure that when you come here and look, that you actually have something in mind before you start. Let's do Australian, okay. All right, so this one, Australian Wine Club, and the way you look at this is, you know, there's average searches. 263 people search this particular keyword a month. If you index well, 45 of those will come to your site. And of people using this actual verbiage, you have 46 websites. So that's a pretty good statistic. Out of 263 searches, there's only 46 people using this.
Okay, what's with the traffic? I had my head down taking notes.
Yeah, the traffic, that tells you how many people will visit your site. And a lot of people's like, well, 45 is not a lot, but it is compared to when you only have 263 people searching.
Okay, so that's just the searcher. Everybody's searching for something.
Yeah, this is just for this particular keyword.
Okay.
Okay. So,
okay, so real quick, the difference between the average versus the traffic.
The average, this is telling you how many people actually are searching for this word.
Okay.
The traffic tells you how many people are likely to come to your specific site.
Okay, that's
with that word. And the QSR tells you how many websites are using this keyword. So 46 is not a whole lot. And then like this one, you have 182 people using this keyword, Australian wine. So there's 182 websites fighting for positioning on Google, which to me is a high number. You're going to have to do a whole lot of advertising to beat these people out. 68 people is a more reasonable number. So, and like, again, here you got online wine club, you got 172 people using that have websites using that. That is not a good statistic. For me, it's not. Same thing with here. You got the wine club, you know, there's 9,000 people search that keyword, and there's 238 people that use that word in their website. Let's see what this one is. And I want to make sure, see, there's 100 people using this one, that website. So I want to make sure that I have a good keyword that we can use that is also going to be indexed well. Australian Wines Online. See, there's still 72, but you're only going to get 24. I think I'm going to use this one. Okay. So I'm going to come back here, and they got Australia wine. So I'm going to put Australian Wine Club. Okay, so that means I'm going to change this.
At your doorstep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, and as you can see, you can tell by the wording of this. Oh no, I did the whole thing. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah. So when she came in, we were still in pre-launch. So hers are still saying in pre-launch. So we are no longer in pre-launch. We are actually launched. So I'm going to come here and say, okay. So I took care of that. And we did say we're looking for representatives in your area to join this growing phenomenon. And then we can put in their key phrase. They have it everywhere. All right. So that took care of this, and I'm still going to take this out, including that picture. I'm going to remove that picture because the picture actually spans two different blocks. All right. So there's that. And the one that was asking questions about a block within a block, because this is in paragraph classic form, you can't put a block in it. So what you would have to do is the part that you want to use, you're going to actually have to break it up. So because this is in classic mode or classic block here, I can't come in here and add a block. Now,
Right.
if I want to add a picture, I can add a picture, or I can add, you know, headers. I can add content. I can add pictures in it. I can put videos in here. I can put code in here. But I cannot add another block inside Classic because it's a block within itself. So what I would do is say like here, step 1, take action. Step 2, maybe I want a different step, you know, because, you know, everybody uses this blue. So let's say I want to add a different one. So I will click on here. If you are in Classic Block, you click on your media. First of all, you want to make sure that your cursor is where you want it. I don't know why I keep pressing that. Then you're going to click on your media icon up here, and it will take you to your media library. And it looks like, or upload file or your media library. Now I know she's got basically whatever came with her web system. She hasn't done a whole lot to it. So we're going to see if Rory has some different numbers in here that we can use besides those little blue numbers. And when you're modifying your pages, you do want to make sure that you are also changing your pictures. That also raises a red flag with Google if they're going through, especially if you're trying to get Google AdSense and you have the exact same picture on the exact same page that 10 other websites have. So you always want to make sure that you are changing out your pictures in there. So she doesn't have anything like that. Oh, and those of you that are in the wine club, did you know that they have keto-friendly wine? I found that yesterday. I was so glad.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
there's 3 bottles that they have. One's a Chardonnay, and I think another one is a white wine and a red that are keto friendly, and it's labeled keto friendly. And I went to town with that yesterday. Let me tell you, I was posting everywhere.
Nice, stupid. What's keto? Is like gluten free or?
Yes. There are people out there that are keto. That means that they watch the fat intake. They don't take the carbs. And my son does it, and it's just, you know, a diet plan basically is what it is. And you know that there's just certain foods that they can't eat because of whatever the keto program that they're on. And some people have given up wine because of the carb intake and the caloric intake. But DC has actually got 3 wines that are keto friendly. So, which means that people that are on keto, using the keto diet, they can drink this wine and it won't go against their program. So I know I have some numbers in here. I just got, there it is. So I'm going to change this out a little bit.
Sheila.
Yes.
Where can you download numbers and stuff off the website? Is that where you get those, or is
yes, I just went straight off of Google Images and looked for numbers.
Okay.
Yep. And I'll actually show you how to do that. So I'm going to put that in here. And then I want to change my size a little bit, and I do want to center it.
I like those better.
Yeah, and you can find anything, just like if you go up here and you can, I hear music in the background, so please mute if you don't mind. Thank you. So I'm just going to come up here and type in step 1, and then go to images, and then it pulls up the different steps. So you can just come through here, find ones you like, and like that's the one that I have. But and you also want to make sure that you don't have anything that has logos unless you are specifically talking about, like, this is for a medical symbol. This would be really great right here. I like that one. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to right click, and it gives me the option to save image as, and you always want to save your image as. A lot of people just come here and hit copy image or save link. If you click save image as, then it gives you the option to choose where you want to save it, and also the option to name it. So I'm going to sit here and do choose. Let me make sure I got the right one. I'm going to see it save image as. And it's telling me that it's going to save it to my PC and downloads. I don't want it to go to downloads. I want it to go to my Dropbox, and I want it to go to my blogging pictures. And since I don't have a folder, I'm going to create a new folder. So I'm just going to click new folder, and it's put my new folder up here, and I'm going to just name it numbers. And then my image, I want to name it step 1. Where's my folder? Bring my folder back up. And since I named my folder, it's going to put it in numerical or alphabetical order somewhere here.
Okay, the difference is if you use the number itself, it goes the first block. But if you use the letters of number, then it goes in numerical order. I mean, alphabetical order.
Well, I did, right here, I did a folder. So I'm opening up my folder and I'm naming it step 1. Okay. So then what I want to do, let's see if there's another one that says step 2, because I like the way that looks. And maybe because I did step 1, it's only going to do step 1. But I like the way that looks. See, there's another one that says step 1, but I want one that says step 2. And I might have to actually go in and change my search to step 2. And let's see if they have it up here.
I saw step 2.
Yeah. And see, here's one that says step 2. Sometimes you can look up here and it will tell you steps, you know, give you some information. So these should be all step 2. And so let's see if we can find one that looks like that. Image, I don't see one.
It's not being very helpful, is it?
No, and sometimes, you know, you just have to play around with what you want it to look like. And which is fine. I want to go in and use that step 1. So we're going to come back here to my page. I'm going to take this one out and I'm going to add that other one in. So I'm going to come here to my media. I'm going to go to my uploads. I'm going to go to select file and I'm going to go to that new file I created for numbers. And I'm going to pull that step 1. Okay, and then I'm going to insert that into the page. Now, it put it up here, and that's because that's where I had my cursor, and I don't want it there. So I want it down here, so make sure I get my cursor there. And since I already have it, I'm just going to click it on again and insert it into page, and there we go. So now it's got step 1. And so we can play around with this a little bit. Let's move this over here. And we can do step 1 is to take action. And you can enroll it, do this one the same way. If you want to, you can come up here with step 1, enroll. And you always want to make sure that your information here is also linked. Even though it's a step 1, it's still considered an image. So you want to make sure those are linked as well. And my alternative text, you're also going to put that, which is always going to be your keyword. And your link to settings, we want to make sure it's always going to a custom URL, and that's where we're going to paste our link for our wine. And your image attributes, you always want to, again, put your keyword. And you always want to open in a new tab and then update. And you want to do that with all of your pictures or your images. Anywhere that's on here, you want to make sure that they're there. And so we need to go ahead and change this. It's Australian Wine Club. And it's Australian. And we got that. Okay. And so then I'm going to go through and do a few more. Then you can do step 2. I want to kind of keep them all within sync with each other. And again, here's another option where if you wanted to, you could just copy and paste it and open up another tab. Those of you that are just getting started, you will periodically run into this sequence of numbers. It's throughout your web system. When the system was built, it could not decipher percent sign, so it assigned it a its own rhythm, logarithm, and it put that character in it. So whenever you see that, just know it's a percent, and you just need to add that in there.
Miss Sheila.
Yes.
You know that step 2 you were looking for?
Uh-huh.
If you type in Google search image, it comes up with that same one, but it's in blue.
Yep. Okay, good. Perfect.
If you search step 2, it comes up.
So we can do that too. And you can see, and that's the thing about it is you want to make sure that you have, your page can be as unique as possible. And that's what you want it to do. You know, there we go. And you can do perfect. Same thing, save image. And I'm going to name it step 2. And when you find other ones, say you say, well, I want to use this step 2, then just do step 2A, step 2B, just so you know that it is a step 2 and that it looks different. And same thing with step 3. If you want to do step 3, let's see what they have out there, because there's 4 different steps. See, there's step 3. And we're going to save that image.
So you could keep them in uniform.
Yes. And even though the first one is red, that's a really good key because red is first. See, there's a red 3. So you could color code them if you find them all the same code. If you find all the same shapes, and you see this one came up as a PNG. So that's the other thing you want to be able to look at. Your system will only allow PNG and JPEG images. If it has any other type of extension, you can't use it in your system. You actually have to convert it. So this one is step 3. And because it was a PNG, it allowed me to save it as a step 3 instead of saying that I had a duplicate, because there's 2 different text on that picture or on that image. So if you come across an image and you're like, man, I really like that. Like this one's very unique. And you click on it and let's see what it is. If we save this image, what's it going to come up as? See, that's a PNG too. So we can do this one. If I put this as a step 3, it's going to tell me that there's already one there and it won't let me. So I'm going to put step 3A so that I know it's a different step 3. So, and then I want to do a step 4 because there's 4 steps. And let's see if we can find one that's like that one. See, that one's a little bit different. There's one. And as you can see, this is a JPEG. And let's see if there's a different step 4 that looks similar. And see, like this one, if you want to do like a next step, but you see how it has this little logo right here and it's got this ad center in there. You don't want to use anything that's going to be advertising for somebody else on your system. So be very cautious of when you go to see something that you say, oh, that looks great. Make sure that it doesn't have somebody else's logo or advertising on it.
Or the watermark.
Or watermarks, exactly. Watermarks, so it is a distortion that you will see on the image. Usually it's like bubbles or, you know, different things like you see on your money. If you hold money up to the light, it has like a red signature that goes through it. That's how you know that it is genuine money from our mint and not counterfeit money. It does have a red piece of thread through it. So we got 4. So then I'm going to come back here and let's change this step 2 out. And I'm going to get rid of that one. I want it in the same place. So I'm going to put my cursor. Let's move it down here, see how that looks. And you can play with it. That's the one thing about Classic is you can play with your placement of your pictures. Whereas if you are doing it in a regular block, you will just have to use an image block. You won't be able to manipulate your images as well as you can with Classic.
Do they still have it that if you go to block and you use block, you've got one time to go back to Classic and change it?
No, you cannot go back to Classic at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you convert to block, you cannot go back to classic. I know there's people's like, oh, I want to go, I didn't mean it to go to block. I want to go back to classic. Once you convert it to block out of classic, you cannot convert it back to classic. You will actually have to create another block and put it back in classic. All right, so we're going to do that and minimize that. So now you have step 2, and we're going to make that a little bit bigger. All right, so you see how it's already making your page look a little bit different. And I like the way that it's, you know, pointing to your steps. So we're going to go ahead and do our step 3. And let's upload those images. And since step 3, we're going to do it red, we're going to alternate red and blue, which is fine. So we're going to put red on this one. And I want it to you can just basically eyeball and see if you need to make it smaller, larger. Try to keep them consistent in shape and size as much as possible. And then we're going to do 4. Oh, this one has a 5. Wow. Okay. And we're going to insert that one in.
Now you just have to hope you can find a red 5. Just
Yeah.
make them match.
And if not, we will, you know, make something a little different. Okay. And I'm going to show you, let's see, make sure that's all we have. All right. So let's go here and see if we can find us a step 5. See, Miss Linda Marie, look.
It was in blue.
There isn't a step 5 that looks like that. So, yeah, there it is. Perfect. I kind of like that one too. So, but it's blue, which is fine. Let's see.
Is there any way we can manipulate the color on that?
No.
Use the same.
If you're using a copied color or a picture image, you can't manipulate that picture. It's already set.
Well.
Okay. So let's go back to here, and we're going to take that one out and put our image in here, upload our file, and put our step 5 in. Okay. Now, I also know that we need to put, you know, there's still going to be some more work that needs to go in here. But we're going to leave all this in here. But I also know that this needs to be broken up. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this right here. I'm going to actually drop this down, and I'm going to highlight this and make this into a header. We're going to put this into a header 4. And we're going to actually change the color. Okay, so we got that as a header. And then here's another one. We can make this into a header. And we're going to put this a header 4. And let's keep the same color thing. And let's take this extra spacing out of here. Okay, that's a header, which is fine, but let's make this centered and take the period out of it. All right, so now it says our readability is poor. now it's good. All because we changed some headers. Even though you have these 3 yellows, you're going to have this all the time unless you write more. That's about the only way you can get rid of this, is just write more. You can actually go in if you want to and change what's there, but I promise you, if you write more and modify more, you will be okay. So we got our readability green. It was red, so we got it green. So now let's look at our SEO and see what is wrong with it. So we're going to open that up. We don't have the key phrase, and so our key phrase, since we changed it, it does not show up anywhere. So we're going to come in here and edit our snippet, and we're going to okay, so we're going to change that. I'm going to come in here and take this meta description out. And somebody might be thinking, well, why are you using Australia so much? When you are advertising in other countries, you get indexed better when you actually use the name of the country or city that you're advertising in. So if you're using the United States, you want to use that if you're advertising in a particular city, especially when you're doing your headline. You want to make sure that you include the city, state, country that you're advertising in your headline, or at least in your advertising description. It indexes better because then people actually will look, you know, hey, is there anything, you know, say North Carolina, does North Carolina have a wine club? Does Australia have a wine club? Does Italy have a wine club? What kind of clothing stores are in North Carolina? You know, what kind of coffee can I find in, you know, South Carolina or California? So, you know, when you're doing your headline or even in your description, when you're doing your advertising, change the you know, your wording around a little bit to include either the state or the city that you're advertising in. It indexes a whole lot better.
I put state and countries, and then individualized cities maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're advertising, but when you're actually writing your content in your description for your ad, put in the city that you're advertising for. And I'll show you what I'm talking about.
That was always funny to me as I'm typing it up. It's orange, and suddenly it goes green. Like, yay!
Yep. And there is a word limit. You don't want to keep typing until you get your whole thought process out, especially if it turns it from green to orange and then back to orange. You want to stay in green. If that means you put a period at the end of it and it went to orange, take the period out. Punctuation is not that big of a deal in your meta description.
Sheila?
Uh-huh.
It's Constance. Hi. This is what always, I'm so sorry, always messes me up. It's like I start a sentence or maybe the second sentence and it goes green and I go, uh-oh.
Yep.
Do I stop in that sentence? Because if I do go on, it turns orange again.
Yeah, what you can do is if you can reword it and shorten it, you want it to stay green, especially in your meta description. So I've had some where I actually went in and taken out a preposition and made it just a phrase. I've taken out a comma when I knew grammatically the comma needed to be there, but I took it out. Just that one little, you know, space turns it from green to orange.
Ugh.
And the reason it does that is because Google wants you to be able to see your whole meta description when somebody pulls up your ad. If they have to click on where it says see more, then that also hurts your indexing, because Google prefers them to be able to read everything, your synopsis, your whole synopsis about your page right there. They want it visible. When it goes orange, that means it's not visible. They actually have to click on to read more. And then if they don't like it, then they're going to just click off of it. Whereas if they can read everything there and it interests them, then they click straight to your page. Whereas if they click more, all they're clicking is to read more about your description.
Okay. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome. See? So I'm just going to take that out. Find your new favorites. And that's fine because now it's green because I wanted to finish my thought, but I'm not. Get your favorite wines or find your new favorites.
Get rid of the S.
Yep. So there's that, and it's green, and it basically still explains, you know, that, hey, you got your own Australian Wine Club. There's my Australian Wine Club is being used. So then I'm going to close my snippet. And just by doing that, my SEO went to green. Even though I have these two reds, I'm going to go in there and change that because it's telling me that in my titles, I don't have Australian Wine Club. So, which I don't have it anywhere. So we're going to change it here. All right. And we can change it here. View the
Australian Wine Club the primary thing.
Yeah, Australian Wine Club is your focus keyword. So you want to make sure you have that in your title. You want to make sure that you have it in at least one or two headings. And we're going to put Australian. And we could still put Wine Club of the Month. That's fine there if we want to. And that's fine. And then we're going to see where else.
Hey, Sheila,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen on the advertisements of it, when it does the 4 or 6, it doesn't indicate that there's a 2 for people who can't go that high.
Well, for brand partners, you do not get 2, only for customers. Brand partners get 4 or 6. The US, you get 4 or 6, the option. Australia, you do not. Australia starts with 6. I think it's 3 or 6. Canada starts 3 or 6. The only people that get the option to get 2 is customers. Okay. So it still says that I need a key phrase in the subheading. I don't know why, because we already have that Australian Wine Club. We have it in a subheading here. And we also have it here. Make sure that, oh, see, that's a paragraph. I thought it was a subheading. So we can fix that. Actually, I need to put this in caps. And we're going to fix that. Well, sir, get my fingers right. Now it took my caps off. All right, so we're going to drop this down. And some people are saying, well, why is she dropping that down? Because if I don't drop this down and I highlight this to make it a heading, it will make the whole paragraph a heading. And I don't want to do that. I only want this part. And then I want this to be centered. And so there's that. And we do have that as a heading, which is good. So now that should have taken, so let's do our update. And so there, see, so that took care of that. So now we are all in green. Everything, they like everything. So let's go through here. So we still have this passive and transition words, and we can change that, but this is not very aesthetic to me. There's not enough pictures. So because I have this in regular block, I'm actually going to go up here and we're going to put in some pictures, but I want to use a gallery to go across the top. And I'm going to come to our media library because I know Rory has a lot of pictures in here of wine. So we're going to go through here and find a couple of pictures. That was one of the original ones, but I don't want to use that one. I'm going to put this one in there. Let's put this one in there. And what else do we have? Let's put us a little meme in there. Something classy. Let's do this one. All right. And so we're going to create our gallery. And let's rearrange our pictures a little bit. There we go. So we got somebody looks really happy. Then we say time to wind down and somebody's getting ready to relax. And then we're going to insert that into our gallery. And then as you can see over here on your right, you actually have the option of how many columns you want to appear across the top. 3 is your setting. That is your default setting. You can have it to 2, and then 1 will be really big. You can actually have it 4. You can go as many as you want. You want them, and then you could crop your images so they all will appear to be the same size or at least within the same spacing. And then you have your images. You cannot link your gallery. That's the only drawback. Is you can't link those, but it does give the picture, you know, your information a little bit more pleasing to the eye. Same thing with here is you have a lot of words. Even though you have these steps, people do not look at these steps as images. They just look at it as direction. So people as a whole are purchases by sight. They follow wording by sight. If they see something that they like below what they're reading currently, then they'll keep reading. So you always want to make sure that you have something that's pleasing to the eye, that's going to catch the eye. So what we're going to do is come through here. And since we do have a lot of verbiage, we want to make sure that we add an image. And since this is in classic block, as you can see up here, whenever you click on a block, it will also tell you what type of block you're in. So since we're on classic block, then we know we're going to have to come up here and add our image differently. We're not going to be able to add a block. We're going to add the image within the block. So you put your cursor where you want your image to appear. You click on your icon. And then we're going to upload some files because she doesn't have a lot. And I'm just going to go to my wine image. Since I'm on my computer, I can go to my images. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to my wine folder. And let's see what I'll let. This looks really cute. Oh, here we go. Okay, come on. Oh, it's going to freeze up on me. My husband just came in and cut the football game on, so. So it's going to freeze up on me, which is okay. We'll just select another picture and see what we can find down here. Mm-hmm. Don't really want a meme. This looks really good right here. Put something with some food. There we go. And you see how the image has changed. So we're going to shift this over here and we're going to actually make it a little bit smaller so it'll be a little bit more pleasing. So there's that one, and I want to put one more. Let's put one over here. And I want this one to actually be in the middle. So let's come down, and then I'm going to insert another picture. And actually, let's create a gallery here. So we're going to create a gallery, come back down to where those wine images were. And let's pick a couple of them. So we can use this one. Let's do some socials. And let's do one that is relaxing. And fun. Okay, so now we've used 4. And we're going to get rid of that one. So let's see how we want to arrange this one. We want that, social, that last. Okay, and columns, I want them 3 to a column. I want it to be 4 because I want them to all be together. And you see it links to, it says attachment page. We don't want it to link to anything. This is the only thing about the gallery, is it doesn't give you the option to link it to an actual URL. So you want to make sure that you change this to none. You don't want it to link. You don't want them to be able to click on anything. Just want the images there for view. So then we're going to insert that into the page. And as we scroll down here, then you will see your images. So that kind of breaks up all the words. And I will come back through where I'll have her come back through as part of her homework and do some more modifications. I think I'm going to add one more picture here.
Sheila?
Yes.
Now, with that gallery that you just did, and you can do a caption below
Yes.
each picture, but can you link the caption?
Not in Classic.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Not in Classic. You can't link the caption. Now, if you were in block mode, then yes, you can only, but in Classic, you cannot link the caption.
Okay.
So you're welcome. So now you see it looks a little bit more pleasing. You've got your verbiage broken up into sections, and we are now in green and green. Once we come in and start actually going in and modifying her verbiage, this will change. So we will get this taken care of once we get back on our training with her later today. I'll probably be having a late night with her since, like I said, she is in Hawaii, so we'll be staying up late. And then I want to go in here and update. So we changed her keyword. We've used both Classic and Block in her site, which is good. We've added pictures that we've gotten both from Google Images and downloaded into her media file. And we've modified her page somewhat. The only thing about this is it didn't have any HTML code for us to go in and modify. And I think, I know there's a couple of pages that it does have in there. I just can't remember right offhand where one is. That we'll try to find one to go and show you how to do that. Now, some people were saying, well, how do I get my link into this? So what we want to do is, like I said, I already know that she's already gone through and put all of her wine links in. So I'm just going to copy a link that's already there. And right here, there's no link. So what I want to do is I want to highlight Australian Wine Club. And you see this little icon, I call it the paper clip. It's your link clip. You're just going to click on that and you get this box where you can type in your URL or paste it as what we're going to do. You're going to click on here, your little arrow, make sure you open it in a new tab and then apply. Now, some people will do the apply first and then go back in and hit link to a new, open in a new tab. I do it all at one time. That way I don't have to come back and redo it. Now, the only other option is because we did this in paragraph block, you can't change this color out. But in our classic block, you can. So I'm going to come back here and I want to do this link as well. Australian Wine Color. And I always like to do phrases instead of just single words, because whenever a word can get lost when people are searching, they'll just skim over a word even though it's colorized and highlighted. It still can get lost in all the other verbiage. So you want to make sure that you have, if at all possible, that you are linking phrases instead of just individual words. Now we're going to come down here in our classic. And because we are in classic, I'm going to show you how we can do this. So I'm going to do Wine Lovers Elite. And again, in classic, you have your toolbar. You're going to have your same link icon. And I'm going to paste it in here. Here you're going to click on your settings. And this has open link in a new tab right up underneath your URL. You're going to click on that and then you're going to update. Now, because I am in classic, I can come here and change that. So let's change that to where it stands out a little bit and then you can bold it. So then that's the options with classic, is that you can change your links and change your colors. And then we're going to do here super low member pricing. We want them to be able to come and look at our member pricing. So again, we're going to put in our link. Going to click here where we're going to open that link in a new tab. And then let's change that color as well so that it stands out a little bit more. And let's see, we're going to link this picture. Now, because this is in classic, the pictures will be a little bit different. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to click on your edit pencil. And you're going to have the same thing, your alternative text, which is going to be your Australian. Okay, and your link to image, your link to is always going to be a custom URL, and you're going to paste that in there. Your image attributes is always going to be your key phrase, and then you're going to open it in a new tab. Let's see, I just got somebody. Gotcha. All right. So we're going to see you later, buddy, Wednesday. All right, so then I'm going to come back here and make sure our steps, even though these are steps, they're still images, they're still searchable. So we're going to make sure that all of our images are linked as well. Australian Wine Club, I know some of them we're going to have to come in and we're going to have to change them from the old one. Australian Wine Club, we did that one. And let's do this one. Custom URL, paste, alternative image text, and open in a new tab and update. Let's see if this one, I think that's got the old one, yep. Update. That's one big picture. custom URL, paste. And let's do this picture. All right, so we already did that one. And step 4. And I know some people are saying, well, why do I need to do all my pictures? Because our sites are live on Google. Google has the option, just like we did, to go in and use our pictures for Google Images. Those of you that don't know, if you double click any picture that you select, it takes you straight to the website it came from. So that's why you want to make sure that your pictures are linked, so that if anybody double clicks it, it will bring them straight to this page, and then they can read your article. If you don't link it, then it'll just go, back to Google. And you don't want that. You always want to make sure that any picture that you have access to in your website is linked for that specific reason. You want to make sure that Google, when people click it on Google and they double click it, that they will come straight to your website. Okay. I think we got one more.
They say every image needs to be
linked either to your affiliate or to an internal page. So that means you need to make sure all your pictures are linked to, when it says link to, that you're going to a custom URL. And in this case, we're sending them to direct sellers. Okay, so now we've done all of our pictures. We've added some pictures. We've done some gallery work. We've modified her paragraphs a little bit. She's still got a little bit more work to do in there. We've broken it down. We've got her SEO score readable. And now we're just going to update it.
that transition word said it's not enough. Use more.
Yeah. Yeah, it will, and that's why I say it's when she goes in or when we go in to actually finish the modifications of this page. This usually will go away or get better with more writing or more modifications when you put it in your own words. This usually fixes itself. If you fix this one, it usually fixes this one. They kind of work hand in hand. Excuse me. So, you know, as long as you have a green and green overall, it's okay to advertise, which is what you want. You don't want to ever advertise anything that is red. Number one, Google doesn't index anything that's totally red. They will index on if it's green and orange. You just need to make sure that you continue working on it to get it green. You want it ultimately green and green. These get better SEO ratings and get indexed better and faster if your overall score is green. If you have a red or orange in here, that just means you can come back and work on it later. But your overall, as long as it's green, you're good to go. Let's see what we have in chat. Okay. All right. So I think we went over how to get your links into a page, how to get blocks into a classic, which, like I said, you can't. The only other thing that you can do is if your page is totally in classic, like hers is, then you can copy the whole page, put it in a Word document, and then copy and paste over different sections in whatever block mode you want it, and then just delete the whole section. You don't want to delete the whole page because then you'll get an error. But you do want to be able to, you know, copy the whole page over, put it in a blank Word document or note document, and then that way you can copy over sections in different block forms, and then get rid of the original. several different ways you can do it, or you can just open up a block as you go through and delete the verbiage in the block as you finish it, and just modify it as you go. There's several different ways, and in that way, if you want to add an image, add an HTML code within those blocks, or have a block code for that, you can do that as well.
Sheila?
Yes.
I have written and converted at least 3 or 4 pages now from where the whole page was written in classic block.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I had everything placed the way I wanted and colorized the way I wanted, then I just converted the entire document over to block form. Nothing moved. So,
well, when
I think
if you've gotten a new page or a new system within the last 6 to 8 months, your system, even though it says classic, is already in a classic block. So when you convert it to block, it's already in block. It shouldn't change to anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the ones that I'm doing now, she's had her system for over a year.
Yeah, I understood that.
Yeah. So she's still in classic mode. So if I go and click convert to block, her whole page will shift.
That's why I specifically said I wrote it in classic block, the new classic.
Yep. So yeah, when you convert it, it should not change. It shouldn't change it because you are in a block. So yeah,
I find that's the easiest way.
Yeah. I like classic because you can manipulate it a lot easier, especially when you have pictures you want to put in specific placing. It just works better for me. You know, I just like it. I like color. And you can do color with the regular block. A lot of people, you know, were like, well, I don't really need all that. So, but you know, if like this is a paragraph block, and if I want to make it stand out, you see over here where it's got color settings, I can actually change the background. So if I want that background to stand out, I can, you know, change the background color.
Yeah, I don't really like those colors though, because they're not bold enough. They're pastel colored.
Well, there's a color wheel. Did you try your color wheel?
I don't know where the color wheel is.
Yeah, you see right here where it says custom color? Then you can choose your color and then move your wheel to wherever your color you want it to be within that color scheme. Same thing. You just move your wheel however you want your color. And you can do the same thing with your text.
I had not noticed that. Yep. I just looked at the color circles that are right in front of me.
Yep. So you can customize, just you hit your color. And let's hit clear and go back to black, hit clear and go back to white. But, you know, you can go to this color palette and, you know, like I said, change your background color if you want. If you don't particularly like that particular shade, you can just come up here on the custom color and you can make it as dark or as light as you want it, and fix it to the color you want. Basically customize your color within that color palette.
All right.
And then just hit your update.
I'll try to remember that.
Yeah. So, and that also helps stand out. And if you're using a paragraph block, okay, answer your phone.
No, that's another call I don't recognize.
All right, just hit mute real quick because there you go. All right, so what you want to do is, I lost my train of thought.
Colorize.
When you're colorizing, you know, if you have a particular paragraph that you really want to stand out, you know, that's really important, then this is where this can come in really handy. You can also do what we call a drop cap. You see this right here?
Yeah.
And you can click on the drop cap and it really accentuates the first letter of that paragraph. It doesn't look like this. It will be in Times Roman, just like your wording. It's not all fancy, but it will stand out. It will have that drop down cap. So if we want to see how that's going to look, we just go to our preview page. Remember, you always go to preview page, not view page. Preview page opens up in a whole new paragraph, a whole new tab, so you can see what your page looks like. And And so you can see where it's got the drop down. It actually makes this look like it's purple now instead of blue, or, you know, a violet color. And it stands out. So when people are reading, there's like, oh, wow, there's something here. What's that? Let me read that. And so you can see what your page is going to look like essentially. So, you know, you got your step 1, then you got your step 2. So I really like the way those steps numbers came through. And then you have your paragraph. Now this is a little off. So we can see that this is off. So then we can just come to our edit page and we can come down to where that step 4 is. And we can do one or two things. We can do this, make that a little bit smaller, hit our update, and then go to our preview. And it's going to open back in the same tab. And let's go down to our preview and see if that changed. It changed it a little bit. So now we got to see what we need to do. Maybe we need to put some spacing in between that step 4. So let's come here and hit a space bar and hit our update now. Because you don't want your words jumbled like that, because that's the way it will also appear in your advertising, and you don't want that. You want everything to be very legible. So let's come down here and see if that spacing, see, it still didn't do it. So we're going to have to figure out what we need to do to fix that, because we don't want it to look like that. So maybe just put it in.
Can you move the step to the left?
Yes,
yeah,
that's exactly what I was getting.
But if you move it to the left, then what's it pointing to? Because we are using a point,
that's the right, your other left.
It is to the left. Yeah. So that's why I just dropped it all down so that the step is basically by itself. So let's see if that helped any. And let's see if we do this. If we center that, take that period off. All right, so we did the update. Now let's preview it and see if maybe that helped.
I notice that sometimes the preview still looks different than the final page. If I go back to my site and not the WordPress here, and then I refresh it with F5, it still looks somewhat different than the preview did.
And it could be because we are in edit mode. We have all these different workable options, whereas you won't be able to see that. So that's why when I look at it like this and I just have a little bit of layover, I'm okay with that, because like you said, when you go in to view it without all of this up here, it will probably change not only the skew of the page, but the layout of it, because it will give it more space. This won't be there to take it away. So I'm okay with that. And like I said, we, you know, always be able to go through and look at it. So basically this page is up for, we can actually start advertising, because we've changed our keyword, we've changed our title, we've changed our slug to match what we want it to be. So this is our page now. We've incorporated some new pictures. This information, which is just generally needed to be changed, we will work on that later, but for the most part, this page can be advertised. So is there anything we need to go over before we go to the next step? Any questions on what we've gone over so far? If you have a question, just unmute yourself and ask away, and we will go over it.
Okay, Sheila, did you show how, like, seeing this page, if you wanted to add a link in and it didn't have the link, see that thing up
yeah,
top?
we did that. Yeah, I'll show you again. So what we're going to do is, I know this is her link, so I'm just going to copy this link here. And all right, so right here, one of the month business, we're going to link that. So you see how I'm highlighting. And since I'm in Classic, I'm going to come up here to the link icon. and I'm going to paste that in there. I'm going to click on my settings and open in a new tab and hit update. And then I'm going to color it and bold it. And now that is linked. Now if we go to where we have, so let's come down here and create a new paragraph. And I'm going to type in, actually let's do a header. And I want that centered. All right, so then I'm gonna come down here, start a paragraph block. Okay. So there's that. And as you can see, this came down from 17 to 10. This went down from 25 to 22. It needed to go up, which is fine. It's still in green. So now that we are in our block mode, I'm going to show you how to do a link here. So we're going to do our Australian Wine Club. And I'm going to click on my link button. I'm going to paste my link in here. I'm going to hit my settings. We're going to open that in a new tab, and I'm going to hit my arrow to apply. And since we are in a regular paragraph block, I cannot change these colors. And then I'm going to do another one. Let's do wine available. Let's do fine wines. All over the world. We're going to do that one as a link. Open in a new tab and apply. And then we're going to do this. Let's do this whole phrase. Paste, open in a new tab, and then update. And then we're going to update our whole page. So that's how you got your links. So is that what you were looking for?
Me?
Linda
No.
Marie?
No.
What are you looking for? What do you mean get your links?
When they don't have the settings up above, how do you pull settings into a page that you're modifying?
Settings should always be there.
Huh.
If you don't have it, then you're not in edit.
Okay.
If you're in edit mode, that setting should pull up immediately when you're in your block.
Because I wasn't able to pull it, so apparently I wasn't in edit then. Okay,
Yeah, if you're,
question, the statement. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, if you are in edit, whenever you click on a page, you should automatically get your edit tools. They should come up. If they do not come up when you click on a block, then you are not in edit. You're just on your page.
Okay. That makes more sense than what I was trying to, like, how do I get that block up there to pop up when I need it?
Yeah, so if it doesn't pop up when you click on a block, then make sure that you are in edit. If you're not in edit, when you come up here, you see where this says view page, it will actually give you the option says edit page. Because I know this says view page, that tells me I'm in edit mode. So if you look up here at this black toolbar and you see the word edit anywhere, then that means you're not in edit, you're just in your web system.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, you said that we could go ahead and advertise on this page. So you don't have to have a page totally completely finished to be able to advertise.
As long as your links are not going to change, you're not going to change your slug, and everything's good except for maybe a few modifications here and there for your verbiage, your page can be advertised.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
This has been very helpful. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, so as long as you're not, if your title is set, which ours is, we did modify our title because we changed our keyword. So this title got changed, our slug got changed to match, our key phrase got changed. So as long as your basic information is changed and all you have to do is change a few verbiage here and there, your links are set in, then your page is good to advertise. As long as none of that key information is going to be changed ever again, then you can advertise. You can modify your verbiage anytime you want to, as long as you don't modify your title or your slug.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. Thank you.
And I tell my students, and you can ask them, several of them are here, I tell them as soon as they finish a page with a link and it's done and you got green and green, advertise that baby.
Oh, okay.
That's the only way you're going to get traffic to your system. That's the only way you're going to get monetized. Even though our websites from day one is on Google to be searched, it's not ours. It doesn't have our links in it, doesn't have our pages. It doesn't get indexed with Google because it sees it as a template. So by you advertising your finished pages, it's getting recognition to your website while you're still modifying it. And that way, when you are ready and complete, your website's already there. You probably got pages that are already starting to index, and it's going to be easier for people to find. Then when you go to apply for Google AdSense, they can see that you advertise, that your page is, your system's out there, that it's indexing on certain categories, and it's easier to get your Google AdSense approval.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. And that's the key thing. If you are going for Google AdSense approval, you need to make sure that your pages are completely modified and that you do have advertising. A lot of people will finish their pages. They have not done one advertising at all, not even on social media. They've not done the first ad on the free ad sites, and then they go to apply for Google AdSense and they get denied. And they're like, well, why? Everything's done. You have no traffic to your system. So you need to generate traffic. And that's why I say, you know, you just need to get with your instructor because, you know, we all have kind of a gray area when it comes to this part. I tell my students, when you finish a page and it's good and you've got green and green, advertise that page. Go ahead and put it out there and get traffic coming to it. That's the only way your page is going to get noticed. Is you advertise it. Even though, like I said, we are live on Google, you're on the back pages until you get advertising and get that traffic coming in. So what I'm going to do with her page.
I have a question before you go on.
Yes.
You had a picture right there before you switched it. It says premium elite wine.
Mm-hmm.
Is right? Yeah, right there. Is that our wine that we're
yes.
advertising?
Yes.
And so where do you get that picture at? Is it?
If it's in your website, it should be in your media library. but when because I have Microsoft 10, Office 10, I have this little tool called Snippet Editor, and it is different with each one. So when you go to
I use Snippet at work.
Yes, and that's all it is just that when you pull it up, just like let's go to my DC, and this is how I did my DC for the keto wines. I'll show you that. And a lot of people's like, well, how can I do this? I'm gonna show you a little trick to get to your shopping. You see up here in your toolbar, this is my number because I'm in my website. This is home, and this says wine, so it's just pulling me up to my home page. Well, I want to go to my
but it doesn't show you that you're logged in. How do you get that code up there?
I have it saved. This is mine saved.
Okay.
Yeah, so when
you don't have to log in to get it?
If you've got your site saved and you know that's yours, you need to go, when you log in, you need to verify your number. I know this is my number. That is signed to me. So when you pull up your site for people to shop in, and you can actually click on your enrollment link. We can do that. Let's do that. That just makes it easier. So if you know what your enrollment link is, you can key in that. So let me pull that up. Let it refresh itself.
I'm sorry if I interrupted
something.
Oh, you
didn't. You're fine. It's a good question because, like I said, there's 3 wines right now in the shopping. Is that Pie Wacket? No. Her voice is a little bit deeper.
No, it's not. Don't you dare claim Pie.
That's what I said. His voice is a little bit deeper than that.
And she'd be saying hello.
Yes. So here's where we're going to go. Let me get my link to my direct sellers. So like I said right there, so I'm just going to go to my enrollment. Let's just highlight that. And we're going to open up that hyperlink.
So this stuff that you have right here, you got up, is that saved somewhere or?
Yeah, I have all my stuff in my Word documents. This is actually a sheet that I send to all of my students after they've joined. And it's basically a training sheet. And it has where they need to start with their training, their step 1 after they've gone in. We've gone through the flow. They've started editing, modifying their pages. This is their Triple R training. This is their Blogging for Cash with Roy, where they can go and watch all the videos for information. This is my personal response magic code that I have my students sign up for so that I can send them emails for any information that they need. I keep them updated, and then I have all of the free offer links, referral links that they will need for their pages. And then I give them information on the paid offers, like the direct sellers. Here's my, where they can go in to log in. Their Valentis, I give them my Valentis tour, the Optimum Roast, where they can go in there. Actually, in the Royalty Gems, it's called Stealth Mobile Marketing in your programs. Some instructors do it, some don't. I actually do it. It's really works really well for me. And then I have the links for the Tuesday and Wednesday training calls, the webinars. I also have the direct sellers contact information, and then I have Paul's webinars, links to there, just information. I have my YouTube channel, my personal Zoom for people that cannot connect to Skype. And if there's any reason you cannot connect to Skype, check your browser. Skype is not compatible anymore with the updated Internet Explorer or Edge. So if you're using those and you're like, well, I can't get sound, I can't share screen, that's why. You have to upgrade to either Google Chrome works great. That's what they suggest. Or Firefox, I think, is the other one. That works good.
Sheila?
Yes.
When did you create this sheet and start sending it out?
I created this when I first started, and I just updated ever so often. You should have had it.
Well, that doesn't look at all familiar. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
I know. Me
Check your,
too.
check your Skype and see if you have it. If you don't, send me a Skype and say, hey, I don't have that updated sheet, and I will send it to you.
Check my Skype to see
Yeah.
if I have it.
Yeah, I always send it in an attachment in Skype.
And see, I don't even have all the listing like that. The last one you sent me is blocks of stuff, and it's not I like the layout you did of that. It just kind of keeps
All
it
right.
online.
I will resend it to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
That would be great. Yeah, I like it.
All right. So, and I just send it to all my students. Anybody that has access to me, they can get that. But just remember, the referral links are my referral links. You want to make sure that you have your instructors and referral links. So this is my joint.
You want to get the credit for that, not your instructor.
Yeah, you want to make sure your instructor gets the credit. So what I want to do is I'm going to come here, and I want to go to shop.
Can I just ask you a question before we leave this?
Yes, ma'am.
About Classic and Block. When you started today, you had already put your students' website in Block, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then when we went to the Australia wine page, it said Classic on the top. That's Classic View. Classic. Classic Block.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it. How do I say that? So it wasn't in the old Classic. It's in the.
It when before, and I should have. And the reason I didn't convert it before we got after we got on Class is because some people have never seen Classic View, and I didn't want to confuse anybody.
Okay.
So her page was in Classic mode, her whole system, because it was over a year old. She had never done any of the updates. So I updated it, did all her updates before we had Class. So all of her pages are in Classic mode. There's no blocks at all. So when I pull up her page, the whole page is in Classic block. So in order for me to put different, like a paragraph block, I actually have to copy the information out of the Classic block and create a paragraph block to break it up. If not, then I will have to use HTML coding. I have to convert the page, the whole page, to HTML code to put a picture in, or to put a video in, and that's too extensive for some people. So I was just showing how to get a page that is totally in Classic, how you would have to convert it to put both Classic and paragraph block in.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you will come across that, especially if you have an older system and you come across the page that you've never edited. It will show up as the whole page will be in Classic, and it will look like this. You'll just have one straight run on. There will be no breaks, no columns, nothing. And I know one of the students was like, her page was like that, and she was trying to go into the middle of it and add a block. You can't do that. In order to do that, you would actually have to copy the information that you want out and go either to the top or bottom and create a block, and then you're just going to have to manipulate the whole system. It's better to copy the whole page, delete what's in there, and start from scratch if you're going to do that, because it really will convert the whole page into a Classic block, and you can't go in and add individual paragraph blocks. So that's what we did, was we just copied what we wanted, added new stuff to it, got rid of what we didn't want, left what was in there, modified that. So there's ways around it, but you just have to be very cautious to know that you can't add a block within a Classic.
Okay.
So that's what, because down here we just added, a heading block, and then we added a paragraph block. And then this whole thing is Classic. Now, what they were talking about is they wanted to come here and put a block in. You can't put a block within a block. So that was
Classic block.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Just like if I was down here in this paragraph block, I can't come in here and say, I want to put a Classic block here at the end of this sentence. You can't put a block within a block. They're all individuals.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, before you leave this page, I've got a question. The preview, and you left the preview and the update, You
Uh-huh.
said when you've got it all set like you want it and it's ready to be published, how do you go from here to publish? Some of them are already showing publish, but
If
like
you
this one here,
see
it doesn't say it.
okay, if you see these two words, preview and update, that means your page is published already. You're just updating a published page. Now, if it's a page from scratch, you will see where it says save draft. This says switch to draft. It will say save draft, it will say preview, and it will actually have the word published here. So if
Okay,
you
that's
come
where I
across
got
the,
confused.
yeah. So let me see what she has in draft. Let me update. You always update before you leave.
Yeah,
And
always save your
always,
work.
yeah. So we're going to come here to her all pages, and we're going to go to draft, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to come here to edit. And this is a draft page. And when it comes up, you will see how it looks different. This page is not published. It is not searchable. So you see here where it says save draft. It has preview. Every page will always have a preview, but it says publish. This lets you know immediately that this page is not published. It doesn't have the word update. It says publish. So that means this page is in draft. You see it doesn't have a published date. Anything that is not published or that is not searchable, you will not have a date here.
Oh, okay.
The minute you click publish, it will assign it a date and it will be searchable. And this will go from the word publish to the word update.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we'll see you later. Just remember, next week I will not be here. So I'm actually going to put that in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Sheila. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, dear.
Thanks.
Thank you, Sheila.
So
Next week.
Thank you.
all right, we're not done. I just had one student that had to leave.
Okay.
Whoa!
I thought you signed this off.
Oh no, I just had one student that had to leave, so I was telling her bye.
Next week I won't be here either.
Okay. So when I come here, you will have whatever your title is here. Mine's Mama Chief. I also have numbers. And then if you type the word product at the end of it, it will bring you to the product listing that we have available. And as you can see right here, here's one of them. It's a Chardonnay. It is from Australia, and it has this little label that says keto friendly. Now, you can do the same thing when you log in, and if you wanted to go to Canada, which is what I did. If I log in and I click on here, or if I wanted to join, if I go to home, oh, I gotta go fix that. Okay. If I go to join, where's my join? So let's go to join. So let's go here to join. Highlight. Open link. And if I change it to like Canada, my country, and I go to, let's say, Australia, and hit submit. And if I want to see what they have to offer in Australia, and I want to go to the join in Australia, and I want to get their pricing, then that's where I would do the snippet. So I would come here to join, and I would hit join today, and it will pull up, you know, the different things. And I could actually, you know, if I went through all this, but say I wanted to copy this and put this in my website, then I would click on my snippet editor.
Where's that?
It depends on what program you have. I have Office 2010. or Office 10, whichever word it is, the latest Office program. And it actually comes with this snipping tool. So you need to check to see if you have one available. And then I just click on that and I click on New. And then it highlights it for me. And then I just mark it. I actually have mine in red so it stands out. And I highlight what I want. And then I will just hit File, Save As. And then I will choose the file that I want it to go to. And I will actually put this, label this Australia benefits.
It's same like on Mac, like a screenshot.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And then I will save it. And then I can use that, pull it up later and put it actually in a page. So let's say if we wanted to incorporate this into our Australia page we just did.
And you can put it in the media, right? Media thingy-bobby?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
So let's go and find our Australia page. And where was that? Right here. And we're going to edit. And so we're going to come down here. And we're going to put it right down here in a new block. So we're going to open this block and we're going to actually do just a plain image. And we're going to upload it since we don't have it in our media file. And we're going to upload that image and Australia benefits. There it is. Just click on that. And it's going to put it in there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with over here, my image settings. Since we used an image block, Australia Wine Club. And then I need to come up here and get my link for my wine, copy link address. So I'm going to come back down to my picture. I'm going to do my link settings. It's going to be a custom URL. I'm going to paste that in there and open link in a new tab. And then, and I'm going to, here is you can put a caption. And benefits to Australian Wine Club, and then you can actually link the caption. And there you go. And then we're going to update. And then we can hit our preview. And that's how you
love it.
And that's how you can use your snippet editor, and you can do it with wines. If you go in there, like I said, find a wine that you like. If you go to shop, and like I did, I pulled out this one. So these are all keto. Oh, there's another one. This is a Provenza.
You told me you had, there was 3 new ones, the keto.
Well, now they got a bunch of them on here, but see, I'm in Australia, so so that Provenza is keto friendly. That one from Spain, so they got a bunch of ones that are keto friendly. So I will use my snippet editor first. I'm going to click on this, okay, and it's going to take me straight to that wine. And I want to make sure I got the whole thing right here, because I want this explanation too, because this is a Chardonnay. And I'm going to use that snippet editor again. I'm going to get new. And I'm going to do the same thing. You make sure you bring it all the way to the top. And I'm going to highlight all the way down and clip it. And then I'm going to save it as, and I'm going to put it in my folder for keto friendly. And I label it which one it is. So this is the Spartan Hill Spartan Hill Chardonnay. Now, the other thing is you see right here, here's the link. If I want them to go specifically to this wine, I copy that link address. And I actually have it in my advertising page. So I know this is Spartan Hill. And I'm going to paste that link in there right here. So I know that's the link for that wine.
And you get that link just by clicking on the product? It appears on the top address bar?
Yep.
Okay, great.
And then if I want to see if it goes there, you can just check it. You highlight the link, open your tab, and it says open link. So I'm going to open my link. And so when that pulls up, oh, didn't click it. Then that means I didn't copy it correctly, or that is no longer available. So it could be that that's no longer available. Let me make sure I copied it correctly.
That would be my luck.
And that happens sometimes, that the wine is no longer available. Even though it's advertised, there could be a reason why it's no longer available. So let's see, I could have just copied it wrong. Yep. So there's the wine.
Where would you find out, Sheila, if it's no longer available? I mean, so you know the difference of whether you copied it right or copied
if it's not available any longer, they will actually have under here where it's got one, you won't be able to order it. They'll have it on there, but you won't be able to order it. When you click on it, if it doesn't have this add to cart, then you can't get it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And I have seen them where it's not even shown on the list anymore. So I'm just going to come here and update that. So I just copied the list wrong. So I put something in there that it didn't like. I don't know what it is, but we will just redo that. So I don't know what I did wrong, but anyway, so there it is. But that's how you find out if there's a particular one that you want to see. You just pull up your product list, click on that particular wine, and then this link right here is the link for that wine for your shopping. So you can advertise that link and they can go to it. And you will get credit for it because it's connected with your listing. Okay. And then just use your snippet tool. I use it all the time for, stuff that I find on here, like this Zinfandel. It's new now, keto friendly. See, like this one's not, this bourbon barrel, California, that one's not keto friendly. So there is some that is not keto friendly. And the ones that are, it has this little label on it. It makes it really good for advertising. And it lets them know, hey, there is a keto wine out there that you can get. And it's not going to interfere with your keto program.
Sheila?
Yes.
You keep mentioning copy your pages and put them in a Word document in case you lose the program. But with your snippet tool, wouldn't it just be easier to snip it and then put it in OneNote?
Well, if you have OneNote, the only thing you got to remember with snippet tool is that it's just that. It turns it into a picture. Whereas if you put it in a Word document, then you can copy your whole document back into your page and edit it.
Whereas I didn't know that it was a picture.
Yeah, snippet tool turns it into a picture.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
You answered that.
Yep.
Thank you. You're
very much welcome. Yes, snippet tool turns anything that you snip into a photo or picture. So that's why I say if you're, and I highly recommend you do that. We just had one student, his website was hijacked for whatever reason. We don't know if he didn't get his securities updated or hadn't did an update, but his website was hijacked, which means somebody actually went in there and started messing with it, putting ads in it, basically gave it a virus. So that's why it's very important to make sure you do all your updates, especially for your plugins, to make sure that that does not happen. And they're basically probably going to have to go in and wipe out his system. So either that or give him a new one. So that's why it's very important when you are creating your own original content that you do make copies of it in a Word document or whatever your Office program is, for that reason, so that you have a backup. So that if anything ever happens to your system, you will always get your original content back. I mean, you know, the template back, but even then, if you've modified it to the point to where it's really all yours, there's no template left, you basically want to copy your system page per page if, you know, it's something that you know you can't recreate right off the cuff. Like I said, I have over 240 some odd published pages, and I have mine saved. Yes, sir.
Is there no way that you can make a complete backup copy of your system?
No.
Of your site?
Mm-mm.
Unless you have a Mac, couldn't Mac iCloud do it up to iCloud?
I mean, it just depends on what your program is, but if they go in and wipe out your system, wherever your system's at, it's going to wipe it.
Right, or an external drive. I put them on external drives. So.
Yeah, so wherever, if you have the option to back up your work, back it up. You can't back it up on your web system, so you have to back it up somewhere else. So, and the thing about it is if you make an exact copy of your web system, if it has a virus and you bring it back, the virus is going to come back with it. So that's why it's better to just copy your pages than to try to back up your system, because you will back up whatever virus is in there with it, because it'll be in your programming.
But if you have a backup copy before the virus hit, it wouldn't reinstall the virus, would it?
It depends. How would you know when the virus got in it? That's the thing. I mean, just coming from a background, a virus can work, you know, start out really small and you not know it, and then create havoc as you work in it. It gets bigger. So you never know when a virus comes in. So the minute you find out you have a virus, or, you know, some malware in your system, you never know when it came in. So if you have a backup, you don't know if that's been in there and just been dormant and something triggered it. And if you have a copy and you bring it back over, you don't know if that malware is still in there or that virus is in there just dormant waiting for that trigger. And that's why, you know, most of the times when there is one, the system gets completely wiped out. Like I said, that's just coming from a computer background. It's better to start clean than to try to figure out where it's at. Because some viruses are very vicious and they are in multiple places. And if you miss one, it'll start back over.
Sheila, just, okay, when you say copy, you mean like a screen? Guess who's talking? Sorry.
No, you don't want to do screenshots. And the reason I say is because anytime like a screenshot is just that, it's a picture.
Right.
Same thing with a snippet. So what you want to do is like a Control-A, which will, you know, on a Word document, Control-A highlights the whole page, Control-C copies it, and then Control-V pastes it onto a new clean page. So and that way you can get certain sections. Yeah. Copy.
God, I'm so confused.
Yeah. That's just something. I mean, that's just something technical. You know, that nothing we need to go over right now.
Okay.
We just, you know, that's just something individually that we can go through as instructor and student. So, but yeah. So, is there anything else we need to go over for your website other than getting ready to do a template? Yes, sir.
I just want to thank you for creating a whole lot of work for me.
Well, I didn't want you to get bored.
I'm as busy as a one-legged man in a you-know-what kicking contest.
Well, guess what? You're going to get in shape really quick.
Well,
maybe that'll keep you out of trouble.
I never thought of snippet being a picture.
Yep. Snippet is, and same thing like when you do screenshots, just remember it is a shot. And it is a picture. It's an image. It's capturing an image of something that's already there. So that's why it's best to go ahead and copy and paste into a brand new document. That way you have basically a copy of the original instead of an image of the original. Because an image, you can't edit it.
Well, I
I'm
got
sorry.
a whole lot of work ahead of me.
I'm sorry. Okay, so now what I want us to do is I'm going to show you how I create a template, and I'm going to use her website for it. And I'm just going to open up a new page. And I'm just going to come up here and get us a clean sheet. And I'm going to label it. All right, we're going to open it up so we can see.
What's the LEU for?
That's my student's name. Okay, so now I don't want that big. All right, and these are going to be my headlines. All right, so that's my headline so far. Then I'm just going to get a description. And we're going to change the description. So these are my headlines. All right. And then I'm going to go and we got to get her link again. Copy link and all right, we want her permalink. So when you're advertising, you advertise your permalink. So we're going to go here to block. We're going to go to our permalink and we're going to copy our permalink address. And we always advertise our permalink. Okay, so there's that. And we're going to save that. And I don't want to do that. I'm going to do that. Templates. Okay. So I'm going to leave this up and then I'm going to come here. We'll actually finish with that. And I'm going to come here and we're going to go to our Old Faithful. Let's see if it's open today. And since we are advertising in Australia, that's where we're going to go. So we're going to go to post an ad. And we're going to go outside the US and we're going to go to Australia. And I'm going to put in the first header that we have, or choose a header since I have several. And I'm going to change this. All right, so I'm going to put my headline in here, or my header. My category is going to be business opportunities. Do I want to put it in there or do I want to put it in entertainment? Let's do general merchandising. Yes.
Why can't you put it in all three?
You can.
Okay.
Yep, you can do business opportunities because it is depending on how you word it. You can also put it in entertainment because it is, you know, like we're advertising it for the wines for parties, gifts, and things like that. And then I'm just going to do general merchandise because that basically is where everybody will look first. They always look at free ads unless there's something specific. Then they go to miscellaneous or general. I don't think there's a miscellaneous. You could put it in there as well. So there's 4 different places you could actually advertise this particular one. So we're going to just start with, because of the way I have my description worded, I'm going to put it in general merchandise. And then I'm going to come back and get my description. Okay. And then where it's asking for my URL, I'm going to paste that in there. And then select images. Since I already have images in here, I'm going to go ahead and select them. I don't want anything with my logo on it since this is for her. And I needed to go to her website, so I need to make sure that I find some good wine pictures. Okay. Let's use this one. Fine. There we go. And then we're going to do post our ad. There we go. And there's our ad. And we have our pictures. And then we're going to hit click another ad. And then we're going to do the same thing, except now we're going to go to Australia, and we're going to start posting to individual places in Australia. And then you're going to do that with all the different ones that are there. And then in a couple days, you'll come back and change your headline to one of the other ones, use the same description, and do it again. And that's all you do. And then you have your template. You don't have to worry about, well, what am I going to say? Or you know, I don't know what to say. I don't know how I'm going to word this. You already have your template done. So all you're going to do is just come back and grab something different. You know, grab your headline. That's why you always make 4 or 5 different headlines. And you never know, once you get in there and you actually get your headline, you might think of a different description you want to put in there. And you can type up a new description and then add a different headline just to keep it fresh. And then once you get finished with the 5 or 6 headlines that you have, guess what? Then you can start over or create new ones. But you always have your template at your disposal to keep going. You don't have to sit here for 10 minutes trying to figure out what you're going to write. You already have it. Then you can spend that 10 minutes just clicking, basically, because you see, I'm not changing anything, not in this particular one. Now, there is a few of them. When you go to the free ad sites, it will not allow you to post the exact same ad. So there you might, that's why you need the different headlines. And then you have to tweak your wording just a little bit. So that's why it's good to have 2 or 3 headlines. It's good to have 2 or 3 descriptions if you have time. But like we are on restricted time, so I just have 1 description. And basically that's all you do for Australia. And then you do the same thing. Now, because we specified this just for Australia, that's why I'm posting it just to Australia. But when you do your fine wines page that mentions the different countries, then you can advertise that not only in the United States, but to each one of those countries that is available there. But because we made this a specific page for Australia, that's where we want to advertise in Australia so that we can get indexed there. And then you want to do the same thing with Germany, same thing with Canada. Same thing with the United States, same thing with the UK. And, you know, even with the UK, you can break it out into Wales, you can break it out into England, you can break it out into Scotland, and have the descriptions to pertain to those particular countries within the UK. And then you can just have the UK in general and make sure that you have that somewhere in your description. It indexes because people look for words or for advertising within their country, state, or city. So it's easier to get indexed when you have a specific place in that you're advertising for, and you're also marketing in that same place. So that's all I have for today. Is there anything else that we need to go over?
Sheila, I got a question in regards to this classified posting and stuff or advertisement. At what point in our PBS do we get to advertise?
You can advertise as soon as your page is complete.
Okay.
Yep.
It would do well to have your links and everything first.
Yeah. Well, if you, and it depends on the Triple R training. I have my students, they go through the Triple R training. They get their links done in their page, and then they come back and modify. In the Triple R training, it tells you to do your anchor offers first, which all of my students have their anchor offers done first before they do anything, whether they're in or not. And then you follow the protocol. And then you do your advertising. As soon as you finish a page, you can advertise it. If you like it and it's good to go, you want to advertise it. You want to get your site out there in front of the public as fast as you can. But you also got to remember that the minute you put it out there for ads, they can come and look at your whole site. So if your site's not finished, they have the potential to click on a page that you haven't gotten to yet and change your links in. So that's why you want to make sure that you've gotten your page, your system up and running as fast as possible. So if you're starting to advertise, then you want to make sure that you're spending as much time as you can into getting your system up and running so that every page is monetized for you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Any more questions?
Yes, Sheila. I know that you have to have a minimum of 300 words per page for, you know, that's a requirement of getting Google AdSense approved. But is there a maximum number of words?
No.
No.
There's not, but you also want to consider the reader and consider people as a whole. People as a whole don't like to read. Once they find what they're looking for, they're not going to read anymore. And it's like I've told some of my students here, even I do it. If you've got a page that you're coming up on 1,000, 1,500 words, you might want to start consolidating and thinking about making a series out of it, and break off topics. Most people, 750, 800 words, 1,000 is the max I would probably go. I think I got one page that's getting close to 1,200 words, and I had to tone it back down. Because, I mean, even though it was interesting to me, it might not be interesting to somebody else to read that much at one time. Okay. So it's just a rule of thumb. If you find it interesting and you can continue to write, but give it to somebody else and say, hey, can you critique this for me? And if you see them wandering within halfway, then you probably got a little bit too much. I try to stay between 750 and 1,000, if at all possible. Mm-hmm. If it's more than that and you have a lot more that you can write on, make it into a series.
Okay.
Anybody else? We're open for questions. We're going to be winding it down here in a little bit. So anything we went over today that you have questions on or you're still a little fuzzy with, let me know. We can go over it again.
Hey, Sheila, over on the wine page when they had the ads in there, those look fuzzy. Is there any way you can fine tune them?
The only thing, that's because it was, we transferred it from, the only thing you can do to get rid of that is just actually change the picture. And it is fuzzy. So what we would have to do is actually get rid of this picture and put a different one in there. And so I would have to go into edit, actually find this picture again. And the thing about it is if it's fuzzy here, it's probably fuzzy in her media. So I would need to go in and recopy this picture. And get it out of the system again where they got it from and put it in here.
Okay, but we ain't got to be that nitpicky though either, do we?
No, because all people's going to see, because you're basically already telling them in your description what they're purchasing. So this is just a picture to let them know where you want them to click, basically, when they get in there. And like I said, this is for Australia. They have 6 and 12. We have 4, 6, and 12. So we have one option that they don't. They don't get the option to choose 4. We do in the US. Canada has the option to do 3 or 6. They don't have the option to do, I think, 3, 6, and 12. So Australia is the only one that only gets the 2 options.
Oh, wait a minute. You said Australia only has the 2, but Canada has...
Yeah, Canada can get 3, 6, or 12. We can get 4, 6, or 12 in the US.
And Australia gets?
Yeah, this is Australia. They get 6.
But they have 2 choices, right? 6 and...
I don't know if they have the option to get 3.
Oh.
Because when you go to the US, you have the option to get 4. You can upgrade to 6, upgrade to 12. But the initial order is 4 in the US. I think in Canada, the initial order is 3. I'm not sure if the initial order is 3 in Australia or 6.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have 12 in Australia.
Yes, everybody can order a case. As a premium elite, you get a case automatically as your first order. And then after that, you can downsize it to either 4 or 6.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, it does say here they can get 3. So in Australia, they do have the option to get 3.
So 3 or 6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So in Australia, they can get 3 or 6, which I think is the same as for Canada. Canada can get 3 or 6. We're the only option that gets 4.
But can Australia also get 12? Get a case or?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Any premium elite gets a case in every country. It comes with a case.
If you get 12 bottles a month every month and you drink them all every month, you're going to be too stoned to write any more pages.
Yeah. Well, with the elite, you initially get a case of wine, and it's a mixture. If you want 12, 6 reds, 6 whites, or if you want all reds or all whites. But as a premium elite, because it is $500, you do get a case. And then after your case, you get the option of whether you want to order 6 or 3 for your monthly order. Legally, I know here in North Carolina, you're only allowed to get 2 cases delivered in a year. Now, that's not saying, you know, my small cases are 4, but like last year, I had 3 big socials, and I ordered a case for each one. My last one they rejected because they said I had already maxed out my alcohol delivery without me being a licensed liquor store or licensed, you know, alcohol facility. So I had to have my wine shipped somewhere else.
Probably that same law applies in Massachusetts because they're so uptight.
There's probably a lot of state laws like that. So you just need to look at your state to see what your delivery rate is for alcoholic beverages. I know on the wine club I'm in on Facebook, there's one lady, I forgot where she moved to, and she was saying that she was having her wine delivered and that it was a small amount compared to where she came from. I forgot where she moved to, and she said that she couldn't get her a usual wine amount shipped to her. That's one of the groups that have really jumped on that keto wine I advertised yesterday. So, you know, because they're always looking. I hear them all the time. Hey, any new wines out there? Y'all tried out lately? So about once or twice a week, I put a new wine out there that we've come across. So I put all 3 of those ketos out there yesterday. And I got one lady, she's like, God, I need to get that. So hopefully I got a new customer by the end of the day. But yeah, you just want to make sure. And again, like I said, anything I say, just know that this is what I tell my students. You need to get with your instructor to see what your plan of action is. It may be different than what I tell my students, even though we all basically follow the same structure. I want my students to make money as fast as possible. So that means they need to get their system up and running as fast as possible so they can get to advertising. Advertising is the key. People don't know you're there unless you tell them. And the only way you can tell them is advertising. And once you start advertising, you know, they're going to be coming into your marketing house, which is your web system, which is your website. So you want to make sure that it's fully functional. When I say fully functional, that means that every page is monetized for you. And, you know, we will always, even I do still today, go through my website and update it. You know, I still modify pages that I modified 3-4 months ago, because your system's never going to be complete, but it needs to be functional, which means that it's update, it's trendy, it stays on top of all the latest information that you have. You don't just want to create a page and let it sit and say, okay, I'm done with it, because eventually it's going to get old and boring and people are going to quit shopping it. So you always want to make sure that you're always going in your system and updating, creating it, making it fresh. But you want to make sure that your basis is done, which is your template, you know, and that you're adding new content regularly. Some people can't do it every day. I usually add about three pages a week to mine. Just because, you know, I love to write and I see different things every week that, oh, Pyewacket is Miss Constance's parrot. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, somebody was commenting. They heard me say something about Pyewacket, and they were talking about that they haven't had a Pyewacket for 19 years.
Yeah, I had him for 19 years, and she was a great cat.
Yeah, yeah. Miss Constance has a beautiful parrot named Pyewacket, and he's adorable. She.
It's a she.
She is adorable.
She's an African gray.
Yeah, she talks.
She's looking at the screen.
She knows we're talking about her.
I used a picture of my Pyewacket on my blog about animals.
Oh,
Miss Constance needs to put more pictures of Pyewacket on hers too. She actually did a few videos on Facebook, which I haven't seen any lately.
I know.
Yes, Constance.
Yeah, I mean,
my life is sort of on hold, guys.
Yeah, I know you got a lot that you're dealing with.
But I don't know who the new person was, but they can go on. She's go to Pyewacket, and she has a really cute couple of videos there that if you haven't seen, everybody else has seen.
Yep. Yeah, just go to Facebook and look for Pyewacket, and she's got some really cute things on there.
Okay, I'll look for it.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. You need to let people know you're on Facebook, you know, especially our group. You know, we can go in and, you know, click on each other's pages. That generates traffic. That's the biggest generator that Google looks at, how many people you have clicking your site from social media. Right. So, you know, put yourself out there on Instagram, put yourself out there on Twitter, Tumblr, LinkedIn, YouTube. You know, get your YouTube channel. They're free, you know, and just go out there every once in a while and, you know, tell people things that you like. You know, YouTube is a great, you know, people search YouTube for all kind of stuff. You know, my husband's always searching YouTube for how to fix things or, you know, new fishing techniques or a new lure or how to tie a knot. Forgot, we actually looked on there on how to restore our deck. They looked on there, him and my son, was how to fix this part that broke on our lawnmower a few weeks ago. So, you know, my grandson looks on there for baseball, kids playing baseball. That's his age. So everybody looks at YouTube for everything. So you might not think that what you have is interesting. Just like, you know, we're putting our wine socials on Wednesday night on YouTube, you know, the cooking. So you might be in your kitchen one day and just flip on your phone and do a Facebook Live, you know, and then convert it to YouTube. Or go to YouTube and do a YouTube stream, you know, of cooking with, you know, a new recipe in your kitchen. You know, Miss Constance needs to do stuff for her jewelry. Y'all need to see her jewelry. It's amazing. She needs to put that out there. She needs to put it on her website. I've been telling her that for months. We're going to do that next week. I'll call you when I get into town. So, but yeah, just, you know, anything that you find interesting, write about it, put it on your Facebook, put it on your social media, you know, create a page for it and advertise it. Like Paul was saying today in his webinar, and I've said it before, you don't have to have every page you create linked to something. It could just be an interest piece that generates traffic that's trendy that people are looking for. You can always put a link in it later. But just write down stuff that you yourself find interesting and let people know, you know, and advertise that page, get traffic coming to it. And then when you find a link later or an affiliate that markets well with what you wrote, then your page is already indexed. You already got traffic coming to it. And now it's monetized for you. So, and especially if you get Google AdSense, whether you got a link in it or not, you still got advertising on it. So just because, you know, you don't have a link to go with a particular article you want to write it anyway. You don't have to have it. You don't have to have a link to go in every page. Okay. So that's all I have today. Is there anything else that we need to go over or anything that you have questions on that we talked about so far?
Sheila, I have one thing.
Okay.
And it's back to my wine page.
Okay.
Or my wine account, because every time I go to the DC or direct sellers savings, because I saved it, and it just wants me to log in every time I go to it.
Yeah, it will, and that's a security thing.
Okay, but I noticed that some of yours, when you go to yours, you weren't logged in, but you saw your name up there.
Yeah, when you go into it, and that's because I have a shortcut on mine. I actually, when I created my shortcut, and that's the other thing is wherever you create your shortcut, that's where your page will always come up as. So I actually was logged in to my shopping page. So when I go to there, when I created my shortcut, that's the URL I use to create my shortcut. So now when I go in there, I'm already logged in. Now, every once in a while, especially if I do an update on my computer or do a scan, and clean out my cookies and stuff, I have to go in and re-put my password and everything, but all that's saved, so it automatically generates it. But wherever you save your shortcut, that's the page that will always come up. So if you save your shortcut or even saved your page before you put your information in, that's what's always going to come up. And then you have to put your information. I even tell my students, there's like, oh, I need to save it. No, go ahead and put your password, your, keyword or whatever you need to put in and get to the page you want to go and then save it from there. Then that way it always pulls up after you've loaded everything in.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I learned that the hard way.
So how do I get to that spot? So should I delete the saved one that I have?
Yeah, what I would do is get the one that you have, and say like you want to go to your shopping page.
But I have to log in first, right?
Yeah, log in, and as soon as it pulls up, and you want to make sure that it's logged in for you, and then go to your shopping or go to wherever you want to go to your product. And once that comes up, like with mine, I actually have my shopping product page. And then from there, I can log in from anything. So
it comes up as a back office.
Yeah. And see, you can have it the back office. If you go to your back office and go to your account settings, you will see your individual direct sellers login or your direct sellers website. Okay. And that's what you created. Yeah. So go to your account settings when you log in, and you're going to go to your account settings.
I don't see that.
I would go into mine, but for some reason I got to see if my credit card expired.
Okay. Account settings. I found it.
Yeah. So go to your account settings and scroll down until you see my website.
Okay.
If you copy, and it should be whatever name you created at the beginning when you signed up as a brand partner. Copy that website and then paste it into a new tab. Open up a new tab and paste that website in there.
Okay.
Okay, and it should pull up. If I can get, did it copy? It didn't copy. Hold on.
Lecture. Okay, so.
And so it should pull up to your website, your direct sellers, and it should be where people can come in and actually shop. I'm doing copy. I meant to do paste.
Okay. It comes up shopping.
Yep. And that's the page you want to save.
Okay, so is this the page that I need to advertise for people?
There's several different ones you can advertise. That's the one you can put that link in your website, or you can put your join. It just depends on what your page is about. Like with mine, I have an opportunity page, and it says a business opportunity, my Fine Wines business opportunity. I use my join link for that. Now, when I'm advertising my products, now your join link is when you go into your back office on the left-hand side, you actually have the word that says join. If you click on that, the very first step has your join link on it.
And I could save that page as well.
Mm-hmm. And you want to copy that link, or you can open that link to the page that it goes to and then copy the URL from there. And then that way it takes them straight to that page, either one. And it just depends on what you're writing. Like I said, if I'm writing an opportunity page, then I will put in my join link. If I'm writing a page like with my recipes and wine, and I'm actually putting the picture of the wine, I put the link for my product, which is my direct sellers link, so they can shop. So it just depends on which one you want to use. And then what you advertise is the page you create. You don't advertise your direct sellers link. You always want them to come to your website. Always. That's where your money comes in. You want them to shop because they might not like the wine at that particular time, or they might not be inclined to, join the program or whatever you're advertising, but they will be able to see your other categories, and they might see something over there that they like and want to shop. So that's why you always send them to your website. It gives them more options and more opportunities to stay in your website. If you send them straight to your direct sellers, that's all the options they have. Once they finish, they don't have nowhere else to go. There's like, well, I really didn't want to buy any wine today. And then they click off and they don't have anything else to get access to you with.
So they want to see my home page with all the categories on the left.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So you always want to make sure that when you're advertising, like with my site, like I said, I have several wine pages, and I just created my recipe page. I can't even remember what I called it. I think it was, and it's just old, and I got an idea from another lady. She was talking about it the other day on her Facebook. She was like, what happened to all the meals we used to eat when we were growing up? And the little things that we ate, like grilled cheese sandwiches and soup, tomato soup when it got cold. What happened to those? We don't think about that anymore. Where did all that go? And I got to thinking, why not write a page about some of those things? I don't know about y'all, but we used to get Kool-Aid and put them in the ice trays and freeze them, and that was our popsicles.
Yeah, we did that.
And stuck toothpicks in it.
Yep, we did that.
Little things like that. You don't hear about kids doing that anymore. It's easier for them to go down to the corner store and buy a box than it is to make a gallon of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, but we didn't have the money to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been thinking about that, and the different things to put with my recipes, and create a recipe page just on different things like that. But when I did that page, I didn't do, I don't even know where my page is now. I didn't put in my my join link in there. I actually put in the link for my wine. I want them to go to my shopping page. So I put in my direct sellers page that they gave me, that was assigned to me. So it just depends. Again, like I said, I have no idea where that page is, where you want, that to show up as, and where you want to direct them. Do you want to direct them straight to, signing up and becoming a partner or a customer? Or do you want them to actually be able to shop the different wines that's available?
Okay.
Okay. But you always, always, always want them to come to your page, so your website, so that they can shop your site and bookmark it, because I promise you, you do it, everybody does it when they come across a place that they like and they want to come back to it later because they saw something but probably can't do anything about it right then and there. They bookmark it. I know I do. You know, I bookmark a page. It's like, oh, I need to come back to that later. I got to go do something right now. Or I saw this, I can use it later. And I bookmark a page. They will bookmark your page. So just like with this one, my Fine Wine Business Opportunity, I actually use that link to join because I want them to join my wine business. Like here with the Flower Showers, Gifts, and More, that one has the link for my direct sellers product where they can actually go and shop for the various wines. So it just depends on how you want them to go to, but you definitely want to make sure that there's a page that's going to link to it in your website. You don't ever want to do what we call direct linking. When you first got in, a lot of us signed up just to do link posting. That's what link posting is just a direct link from your affiliate straight to social media or your ad site. And that's it. We have the advantage of having our website, so we need to utilize it. Use that link in our website and bring them to our website to shop.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Any other questions?
Well, and it's kind of like you can't find that page that you created. Some of those web pages are freaked out. I've lost them. They disappeared. I just did another name for it, and I had to go look through all of my links to find it. And I found a couple that I lost. I thought they were gone, but they're
I can't figure out and I've got so many, I just cannot figure out what my title was.
Sheila, it wasn't the quick meals one, was it?
I really can't. This is the easiest way for me to figure it out. I'm just going to go to my menus.
Because I remember you posted that on the Skype.
There it is, Quick and Easy Meals.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
hey.
Yeah. And I typed in recipes, but that's right, I didn't use recipes. I used Quick and Easy Meals. I used the word quick. And I have gotten so many hits on that. It's not even funny. Right there. So this is one that I actually, when I put the wine that I paired with the meal that I had, and as y'all all know, I don't drink. So I didn't even talk about the wine. I just talked about the food because I love to eat and I love to cook. And this was a new one that I got while I was writing this page. I actually got approved for this protein bar. My husband's like, oh, I'm going to try that. And I made this pasta salad and it was delicious. And it's sort of similar to the one that Matt made with the Roma noodles, but I did use the Rotella noodles. And then like the wine here. And I actually used the link for the wine. So if they click on that link and go to it, they will actually go to my page for them to go and buy that product. Let's see if it works.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
The wine that you sell, because I don't yet, says that it's for, well, here's one for $40. I was going to say I've seen $30 and that was it. But Rory says these wines are 2 to 3 times cheaper than what you could get in retail. Is there any way to verify that? I thought these wines were specifically blended or whatever they do by direct sellers.
They are. What he's referring to is most of the wines that we get are only available directly from the vineyard that they came from. And because they have an exclusive right with us, they don't sell them at their vineyards anymore. But when they did, when they did, you would pay in excess to $70, $80, $90 a bottle for their wine, because it's exclusively for their vineyard. We bought the rights. Direct sellers bought the rights for their recipe, basically, of their wine. So therefore, they can't market it. They can still sell it. So if you wanted to go get Lazy Lab Vineyards, then you need to go to the Barbarossa Vineyard and buy it. You can't buy it online.
Is there any way that we can get some kind of documentation?
No, unless you go directly to that vineyard, we can't get it.
Well, I can see people like me questioning that it really costs 2 to 3 times more.
Now, you can research that vineyard and see what their other wines retail, and you can use a comparison that way.
Okay. So they just gave up the rights to sell that one particular wine, not everything.
Not everything, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are some vineyards that we have bought the rights to all of their wines, like some of the little ones that they found in different countries, and that we bought the rights and recipes to their wine. And that's why direct sellers just got their liquor license or alcohol license to make and produce wine. So that's why it's becoming a little bit easier to get into these other countries, whereas before we were just basically a retailer for these different wines. But now we actually have license to basically be a brewery of our own wine for the licenses that we've bought. So
I think it's a winery, not a brewery.
Yeah, not a brewery. Brewery's wine. I mean beer.
Right.
So yeah, so they got their winery license, and they actually have opened one up. I think they're in California. We went to the winery there in Napa, and when we were there last year, and was able to see it, and it's a nice facility, and because of that, it's going to open up more doors for us. So that's why we're going to be able to get more countries, and hopefully the states here in the United States that we couldn't get into before, hopefully we'll be able to get into, you know, a little bit easier now that we actually are licensed. But yeah, the only thing you can do is look up the vineyards and see what their pricing was, because any of these vineyards didn't market. You had to get it straight from their vineyard. These are
We're not going to violate any laws or vineyard rules by comparing this wine with our price versus several of their other wines.
No, because it's still from the same vineyard. You can just, you know, make a reference to that. If you bought this at their vineyard, you would probably pay a comparable price. You can't say you would pay this price.
Right.
You could say, you know, a comparable, you know, and give a pricing range. And then, you know, like this one, you could do a little snippet and say, but with our program, you pay this flat. And then that's why they have the member pricing. So if somebody came here and they didn't want to be a direct sellers member, they just wanted to get this Lazy Lab, they're going to pay $40 a bottle. But if they sign up to be a member, a VIP member, customer, number one, if you came in as a premium elite, or if you came in as an elite or a premium partner, you got coupons. If you came in as a premium partner, you got 10. If you came in as an elite, you got 25. And you basically will waive their first year membership fee with that coupon. So they're going to get not only their membership waived, but they will get membership pricing for that wine.
And are either of those two selections the 12 bottle selection? The 12 bottle?
Yes, anything on here you can get in case orders.
No, not can. I'm talking about, do you have to be one of those 12 bottle IRs in order to get the coupons?
No. Yes. You have to be a brand partner in order for you to get a coupon.
Now that's a problem. I like drinking, but I'm not a lush.
Yeah, brand partners have the ability to give that. Now, say like you're my student, and if you came in as a VIP customer instead of as a brand partner, I could give you that $25 coupon if you came in as a customer. But you know, I would want you to come in as a brand partner. But if you wanted to start out as a customer, then yeah, I can give my coupons to anybody that comes in as a VIP customer.
Yeah. Okay, as a VIP customer. But not an IR.
No, brand partners cannot use the coupons. No. they get them to give out to new customers. But
Okay.
we do not use them.
I was understanding that you could give them out to people like me under you that would then come in as a brand partner.
No, we asked that and they said no.
Okay.
No, it's for customers only. Yeah. Not for brand partners.
Well, I hope within the next 2 months I'll be signing up with direct sellers.
Well, let me know. We'll get you started.
Oh, you will know when I do.
And you already got your pages done, or you're starting them. So all you have to do is just throw your links in there. You'll be ready to go.
Oh, my links are in there.
Yep.
My links were in there first.
Yep. So.
All right.
Anybody got anything else? If not, we're going to call it a day. Anybody question? I heard somebody.
Yes, me, Linda Marie.
Okay.
They've got the 40 and the 20 for a member. So if you're a member, you can get that bottle for $20. But if you're not a member, you're going to pay $40.
Exactly. That's what they opened up in June. I think it was June. Where they had shopping. Yeah. Where you can actually shop DC without being a member, but you will just pay a higher price by not being a member. As a member, you get a discounted rate, like with any club.
Okay.
Whereas before,
I did have one more question. I kept losing it, and then when you talk, that's it. The snippet. If you can't go where you've gone to get it, what's the next best option?
If you have Word, you have Corona, which is this little circle right here. It says "Talk to Corona," and you just click on that, and it gives you the option to search, and you just type in snippet tool or snippet, and if you have it on your system, it will pull it up. And then you just save it to your desktop or save it to, your toolbar so that it'll be there for you to use. That's all I did was I just saved it. So yeah, just go into your Corona and either that or go to your Windows and go to search, or you have your little search icon. Just type in your search.
Yeah, I do have that search icon thing.
Yeah. And just type in snippet. Snippet editor, I think is what it's called.
Well, I have Windows 7, and on Windows 7, they call it snipping tool.
Yep, that's what it is, snipping tool.
Okay, 'cause that's what I've got is Windows 7. Rory suggested I upgrade to Windows 10, and that's what my system is doing. I even talked to my my internet people, and they said it's better if you go to internet or Windows 10. I'm going, oh God, I don't like Windows 10.
You don't have to. I mean, there's just a lot of good stuff on Windows 10, but with your computer, Linda Marie, I wouldn't do it. I don't think, number one, you have the space because you only have a 32-bit. I don't think you would have a space to upgrade without it really slowing down your computer.
Oh, okay.
So
I've talked to a lot of gurus at Best Buy and other places, and none of them recommend Windows 10 over Windows 7.
I have Windows 10 and I like it. So it just depends on what you're comfortable with. But like Linda Marie, I know her computer system. It does take a lot of space because there's a lot of bells and whistles with Windows 10. If you don't have at least a 64-bit or higher, it's going to substantially slow down your computer because it does take up a lot of space.
What's your excuse for your computer?
Mine's old. My computer's 7 years old.
Okay.
And I love it. It's got air, and I've ordered and ordered like 4 or 5 times on a new computer. And it's just like, man, I don't want to transfer everything over. I love it. I'm happy with it. I know all its quirks.
Oh, you can transfer it over easy. You just go to Windows Easy Transfer.
I know. I just don't. I'm going to spell it out like I tell my grandchildren. Lazy.
Well, mine is 5 years old, and I have Windows 7 Pro, and I love it.
Yeah, I love my Dell, and it's been through a lot with me.
That's what I've got is a Dell with Windows 7.
So,
Same here.
Yeah. So what else do we need to go over? If not, we're going to call it a day and I'll get this uploaded. But please, everybody, I just want you to be, if you're not in your anchor offers, try your best to get in at least one of them, because we are entering the holiday season that is going to be the biggest. I think this year is going to be one of the biggest shopping seasons that we've had in a while. People just have, they're tired of being cooped up. It's been a really hot summer. They're ready for cool weather. I've go shopping now and people's already got Christmas fully in swing, and I'm like, we ain't even got the Halloween yet.
Or Thanksgiving.
Yeah, or Thanksgiving. And they already have Christmas displays and artificial trees up, and I'm like, oh, I love Christmas, but I want to do it in stages. So
in August.
Yeah, is.
I've done a lot of retail, and that's when they get it in August.
Yep, in August. And so, people are getting in the mood to shop. They're getting in that mindset. So we want to make sure that our websites are up and running and that you're advertising. So that comes, end of October, 1st of November, when people are finally getting in that mindset, okay, I got to start shopping for Christmas. Your website is there. They've seen it. They've run across it, and you are ready to market. And you've been marketing out there, and you're posting your ads. You want to get your website modified. You want to get those links put in. You want to get that advertising going out there so that people are aware of your system and it can be shopped. And add a page a week if you can. Like I said, I usually do about 3 a week, but I'm home all day. Well, not all day, but most of the day. If I'm not out running errands or getting my grandkids or taking them to ball practice, or something, I'm home, and even at my ball practice, I got my little Kindle that I take, and it's got a program on it. And I'll type a page there, while he's in the batting cage, and come home and transfer it over, to a Word, to my website. I think I'm gonna put it on my Kindle if I can, on my website, so I can just type it straight into it. I just got to see if it's got the memory for it, but it's got all kind of different, take it around like you used to do a book, when you'd stand in line, you had a book you'd read, take a notepad and jot down ideas for, pages you can write in your web system. And then when you get the opportunity to turn those ideas into an actual article. Like I said, every page doesn't have to be linked, but you do want your page unique. You want your website unique and exclusively you. So work in it. This is going to be, the anchor offers are wonderful. They drive traffic, but your website is actually going to be your money maker in the long run. That's the one that's going to stick. That's what people's going to come shop, is your website. And the anchor offers are just going to help generate the traffic to that until it gets established, and then it'll run on its own. And like I said, I got pages indexing now on Google and Bing on pages 2, 3, 4. I got pages indexing on Google on pages 3, 4, and 5. I had one that showed up yesterday on page 7. So I'm moving up in there, and once you hit pages 2 and 3 on Google, Bing, and Yahoo, then you're set. People's going to be searching you all the time for whatever. And once they become aware of you, I promise you, they will save your site. It will be in their favorites. It will be bookmarked for them to go to see whatever you keep adding, once they like you and, you have things that they're looking for. So get your sites, ready, get them up and running.
And Sheila, Roy just mentioned the other day, I think it was the Wednesday training. I was actually on that training. I forgot, but because I was also listening to the recorded ones too. But he mentioned he's fixing to throw some new web pages up. New pages on our website. I thought, he said, you need to hurry up. If you ain't got your links in there, you better hurry up, because I'm fixing to give you a bunch more.
Yeah, he's getting ready to update a bunch of stuff. He's actually got he's been testing it out for the last few weeks, but he has a new financial company that helps with getting your credit score back up, and
he was talking about that.
And he hasn't got quite all the kinks out. We still are are working some stuff out with that, making sure it's where it needs to be, getting the pricing down where he wants it to be a little bit more affordable for everybody that can get in it. But it is supposed to help you get your credit score raised 25 to 30 points within a matter of a couple months. And to anybody that's in the financial institution, you know, 30 points on your credit score can make the difference between you getting a loan for a car and, you know, not getting a loan at all, or getting a personal loan for anything, or just getting money to get by.
What's a loan?
Or there you go, or even getting a loan. So, but he's still got a few bugs to work out on that. And once he gets it done, like he said, he'll probably, that might be why he didn't make it to the training today, because he did say he was going to binge and start cranking out some pages for the new stuff. I know Excel Trip, he's been talking to them about some new stuff. I'm hoping they're going to bring back where you can get Bitcoin for new signups. They had that when I first got in. We got it for about a month and then it went away, because that'll work really great with Bitcoin, you know, fluctuating between $9,000 and $16,000 a bit, to actually lock that in somewhere and be able to stake that would be wonderful. But, you know, he's got a lot of irons in the fire right now. So as soon as he gets those pages cranked out, trust me, I'll let everybody know. We might actually go through it on one of the training calls, show you how to grab those and get them in your system and get them modified.
Sheila, did you say that with this new financial thing he's coming up with that it will cost us to join? It will?
Well, it won't. If you want to use it, it will.
Right,
it's not going to cost you to advertise it. Okay. But if you want to join it, as far as I know, it's not going to cost us to advertise it. It's just going to cost if you want to use the services.
And do you have any idea how much?
No.
No. Okay.
If you should have access, because you're on Goya, you should have access to that board. He's talked about it on Monday nights that we're still testing. So if you have
the name of the board,
I forgot what the name of it is.
Okay.
Just look on your boards. When you go into your Trello, click on boards, and see I can't remember what the name of it is.
Oh, I'll look.
Yeah, but it's on there, because anybody that we have that qualifies for IBO, but their credit rating is like, you know, 610 or 615, then we're to refer them to that credit board.
That's good credit.
So, but not for the
No, actually, mine's 652, and they said it's good.
Yeah. So, well, for the IBO, it's 625. It's got to be at least 625. So, and that's, you know, it was 650 at one time. I know when it first started, I think it was at 700, and they keep dropping it. So now it's at 625. And we do have people that are right on the cuff. And so he found this program. And like I said, we're using it, you know, for some VIPs to get their credit score up so that they can get into the IBO program. And, you know, once, like I said, it gets the kinks worked out of it, then we'll probably be marketing it. So, but there's a lot of irons in the fire. So I'll make sure we'll be covering them on our trainings when they come out. Trust me, I'll make sure everybody that comes here will have access, you know, to those pages and get them out.
You're awesome like that.
I just want people to be happy and make money. And if they can do that writing and sitting home, then by all means, that's what we're going to do. And y'all know I love to teach. I don't hold anything back. If it's going to help you, I'll make sure you have access to it.
Thank God for you. Jeez.
I thank God for this whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, dears and gentlemen. So if we're good to go, we're going to call it a day. And this will probably be up on YouTube, I say by about 7, 8 o'clock tonight.
I just got one last thing to say.
Yes, sir.
You make me so tired listening to how energetic you are.
I'm going to tell y'all something. I was up this morning at 3:30 and I could not sleep because I was just thinking about all the the things I wanted to write about. And literally, I got my phone and I put up my notepad on my phone and just started writing stuff. And my husband turns over. He said, "Will you please cut that phone off? I can't sleep."
You started disturbing his sleep.
And I couldn't. So I finally got up, went in the kitchen, and I'm going to be, I'm going to tell you the truth. I got me an oatmeal cake and a glass of milk.
Homemade
combination.
oatmeal cake.
No, I wish. It was a little Debbie's.
Did you take a double dose of Slim Roast that morning?
I did this morning.
You have to indulge. That's not good if you don't say, hey, today is time, you know.
Yeah, every once in a while you have to, but I just could not. I just had so much going on in my mind, and I get that way, and I've been up ever since. It's just like, okay, I got to get this done. I need to write this down. So, you know, and I got 4 new students this week, and it's just been amazing, you know, talking with them. And I got 2 of them that I think I'm going to give to my students in training that I think they will work really good together. So I just got to get them together. And I mean, this is the time to be growing. Everybody's out there. Actually, those of you that know about it, that are on the boards. I had 2 students that I called this week that